Hello, welcome to the Age of Sigmar World Team Championships 2023 live on the tSports Network. I'm your host, Rob, and today I'm joined by Dan. Well, I've been joined by Dan the whole week. I don't know why.
But you are also joined with me today.
We are your hosts, Rob and Dan, and we're here for an amazing round 4 of the Age of Sigmar World Team Championships.
Round 4, day... What day have we got? Day 4. Round 4, day 4.
Yeah.
We brought 2 days of singles, and then we're into the. Then we were into the teams. We're here, teams of 8, 24 nations battling it out to see who takes the top spot in these Waterly Warriors. It's incredible.
Pretty exciting times. We're in Hotel Schiphol here in Amsterdam, and the event was organised by the Alliance Open crew. They have events all the time. I'm just going to jump over very quickly to our current standings. Oh, thank you very much for the 1,000-bit donation. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us live in the chat. These are the current standings. I'm just going to quickly let the table bosses know that whoever has put a microphone inside a turbine, sort that out.
It is killing us.
Yeah.
It is like killing
the minute we went live
with his song, and the song that he's killing us with sounds like it is directly inside of a person. Oh my gosh, the blessed calm in my brain has returned.
So the results from the last round are absolutely thrilling. As we know, Team England dropped a game going into round from round 2 to go into round 3. We got to see if they could pick their heads up. They did. They managed 90 points against a very tough opponent.
They absolutely did.
Which was Team Spain. But these are the current standings after round 3. France in pole position, 315 points. They are up against Denmark.
Massive.
Denmark have already been the Kingslayers. They've already taken out
England.
They've already taken out England. And honestly, that's an absolutely thrilling match. We should maybe be covering it, but one of the issues is that it's just such a tense match, and it isn't the decider.
No.
While it is a pivotal match, it isn't the deciding match.
And here's the thing, like I said, we've got 24 nations. If we put that match on today, that team is playing first tomorrow, and then potentially even on the next one tomorrow, where we only have room to show off 12 teams and six matches. We really want to make sure we're showing matches that matter, but not necessarily throwing people on the stream who are just going to be on it for the rest of it.
Which is very likely.
Yeah.
Whoever wins between France and Denmark, now don't forget Denmark and the USA have already played each other, so France will play most likely USA or Sweden, and then whichever one of those two doesn't play will play against Denmark tomorrow. So we'll have a thrilling round robin going into rounds 5 and 6 tomorrow, which is quite exciting. And at an outside shot, Italy, Poland, probably more likely to be Italy, also jumping up into those spots as well. They've got a tough match as well. So right now we are playing the host nation.
Absolutely.
The host nation, the Netherlands, are playing against Germany. Neither two teams have been on the stream so far. It's going to be a really fun match.
And they are punching out for potentially the podium as well.
They are.
They're both still within podium contention, but not teams that we're necessarily going to be seeing round 6.
Yes.
So giving a bit of a chance to breathe.
Yeah, the important part for you all to know is, and to focus on, is that those 4 teams, France, Denmark, USA, Sweden, most likely to be on the stream tomorrow.
First thing.
All day. There's also some really great matches because I don't know, Denmark Sweden tomorrow is actually a bit of a barnstormer.
Oh my gosh, I'd be terrified.
That would be really, really fun. USA France also would be a great match as well. So loads to cover tomorrow. There is also some other great matches from around the room, but one that stands out to me has to be Canada versus Australia.
I knew you were going to do this.
Canada versus Australia. Dan, just pick me the way you were born.
Why would you do this?
Why would you do this? Live.
Why would you do this? Why would you put this?
Pick one. Who are you rooting for?
I can't. What, between the country that I come from or the country that I have an active citizenship application for?
Yeah, which one?
No, I'm not. I refuse. I will not be drawn on this issue.
Sounds like Dan doesn't want either of them to win.
No, I didn't.
He says he doesn't want either of them to win. So here you go. Here you can see the current standings and also the matchups, and those matchups are pretty exciting. Netherlands playing Germany. They're going to be on the stream. Canada versus Australia. Dan doesn't want either team to win.
That's not what I said.
Greece versus Wales, Sweden versus USA. That'll be an amazing match. Poland versus Italy. That'll be a great match as well. Denmark versus France. That's the 1 versus 2. That's going to be a very tense match.
Yeah.
There will be judges all over both of those two tables.
Yeah, like white on rice.
There will be. They'll be keeping an eye on the blue. Let me tell you. Serbia versus Ireland, England versus the Czech Republic, Norway, who we just had on, Norway versus Switzerland. That's going to be a great match. Northern Ireland versus Belgium, Finland versus Scotland, and Austria versus Spain. Thanks, Ziggy. You've been a superstar.
Amazing.
Okay, so it's going to be very, very fun. But we have Germany versus the Netherlands. And you can see them. My roaming cam button. There we go.
There it is.
No, it's not. Oh, it's because I have to do this.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey.
That's still wrong, but there we go.
There
I've
we
done
go.
it.
Yep.
So there you can see the German team getting their briefing. I fixed that. That's worked. Lovely. So the German team getting their briefing right now, which is great to see. And also the Netherlands team. So it's a good-looking bunch of lads.
Yeah. Oh, looking at them, I'm like, that's a tall drink of water that I'd love to hydrate me right there.
Yeah.
Also, I was having a chat to them earlier, and I am pro Germany. I'm a big supporter of Team Germany in this one. There we go.
There we go. I don't know why the audio went there.
Well, who knows? Yeah, I am pro Germany. Big fan of them. All the support because we will talk about it later. But I got an apology from the Netherlands for some smack that was talked about me, and I didn't know that one of their players was responsible for it.
Oh,
and since I've discovered it, I can't bring myself.
Talk.
It is very serious talk. I won't. So I'm afraid Germany. Crush the host nation.
So don't forget, 24 teams. We've already showed you those already, thanks to Ziggy. Those are the teams that are battling out to be the champs of the event. So very much looking forward to that. And we are going to be going live into what will be a thrilling series of matches. I think that's. I think everyone's going to feel
amazing.
So we're going to jump over to table 1 right now. You should all be able to hear us. And table 1, now the overlays aren't yet updated because the pairings have just finished.
They do.
As I talked about, you can see there they're all just going to their tables right now.
Out.
There's our table boss, Mark, laying down the law. There's Cabbage, making sure everyone's sorted. Mike will be doing the overlays. They'll be having a chat now, but they'll just all be going to their tables as we speak. So we're going to be going through those games as we go and then bringing back to them as it happens. Don't forget, just behind us, you can see, there you go, the rest of the event is happening. 3.5 hours on the clock, round 4. This will be going into deciding who wins it tomorrow.
Absolutely,
this is our last fun game.
Yeah, this is...
Tomorrow is serious.
Yeah, like today, now we're in a happy place. We're joyous. We're full of exuberance. But at the bottom of this game, when we go into tomorrow, we're going to see some serious faces and some masks of intensity.
Ooh, we're going into actual sports mode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're going into tabletop sports. There are team jerseys.
Yep.
There is pairings. There's media. It's a sport.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
You and I are going to have a very serious night.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be in bed with a hot cocoa by 7 p.m.
Hot cocoa? No, cold water for me. I'm just going to... It's a cold shower, cold water, eye on the prize.
Okay, all right. So we're going to be on table 1, and the first battle plan that we're going to play is going to be the presence of idols. They haven't even put the objectives out yet. I'm really hoping that the actual tables are working and we're getting a feed. Does look like we are. Okay, great. Just they haven't got... There we go. It's definitely working.
Yeah.
Okay. I was concerned, but now thankfully I'm not.
Thank goodness.
So table 1, they'll be playing the battle plan in the presence of idols. So you can see, so there'll be 3 objectives. 1, 2, 3 on that left-hand side there. And it's all about your idols being worth a victory point. You pick 3 idols in your team or for your army, and then they pick 3 idols. Your idols kill their idols kill your idols. Any idols kill any idols. It's a 1 victory point.
You get a point. If an idol kills an idol, the idol that did the killing gets the gold.
Which is I think how it works in J-pop.
Right, okay.
Not 100% certain.
I have never watched a J-pop battle royale, so I don't know who gets paid.
That's what that is.
Right, okay, yeah, great.
Yes, I'm pretty certain. Right, so Dan, I'm going to take us through... Okay, so our J-pop Stan in the table boss in Cabbage has let us know. He says it works. He says it works very similar to sumo.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Right. So you know that sumo?
Yeah, for sure. That's it. I used to compete. I was bad at it. I was very bad at it.
Right, okay, so on this table we're going to have Idnet Deepkin being played by Team Germany. I'm going to take you through those lists as we go. Well, I'm going to take you through the German list.
And because I wasn't allowed to do the German list, because obviously I am pro-Team Germany, so I couldn't be trusted, I will be taking us through the Netherlands list.
You're pro the Netherlands. Well, are you pro-Canada or pro-Australia?
if I had to choose, I would throw myself into the sea.
So you're not pro either one.
I'd let the I didn't. Not that's not what I said. You are reading between the lines like a politician, and I dislike it.
Not pro either one. Okay, so Idoneth Deepkin will be playing on this table, and they'll be playing with an Eidolon Mathalan aspect of this. Eidolon of Mathalan.
Take that back. You take that. No one brought that to Worlds 2023.
Germany did.
Germany did.
Aspect of the sea, which is this spellcasting kind of like support piece. It's like it's a spellcasting support piece. It's just quite expensive. It's like a slan, but not as good. Then Isran Soulscryer and Achillean King. We saw that in the last round. Achillean King is a Slap King. 6 Morsar Guard, 20 Reavers, 10 Thralls, and 3 Aether Wings in this list. So that's what they're playing against. We got them up against Nighthaunt for the Netherlands. We do have them up against Nighthaunt for the Netherlands. Now, they are going to be playing a very cheeky little list that's going to be going for a lot of big charges and a lot of big damage. I seem to have... Hold on. This seems to be... We're talking about Table 2. We seem to have this the wrong way around because I seem to have Jeffrey and Tobias on Table 1. So it's okay. We can just rotate that. Okay, yeah, we can rotate that easy enough. Just give me the pen. Yeah, there we go. We can sort that out. So we can start again. Idoneth Deepkin is going to be on Table 2. We'll start again. We got Jeffrey with his Pretender Sinesh Force. Yep. I'll just quickly take us through that because that's pretty fun. Jeffrey is the team captain. Yep. So he is representing the host nation that we are currently in. So that is the Netherlands, where the Dutch live. And you're taking us through that. Yeah. We're playing Nighthaunt in the Scarlet Doom, which is going to be turning off ward saves, which are massive, but maybe not so massive into Idoneth Deepkin. Now he's got a Krulgast Cruciator, which is going to be doing a little bit of damage reduction there. A Canwraith with the Tuskhelm, who's fueled by Gurish Rage, who is we saw him in the singles, an intercontinental ballistic missile. We'll see how he is delivered very shortly. We got a Spirit Torment, and then a Corpse Cart with a Balefire Brazier. This is all on Table 2. All on Table 2. We've got 20... This is Lex. I love Lex. Lex is wonderful. Yeah, lovely gent. Can't support the team, unfortunately. He's got 20 Bladegeist Revenants, another unit of 20 Bladegeist Revenants for all the chopping, 2 units of 5 Hex Wraiths, 3 Spirit Hosts, and then a big blob of Deadwalker Zombies and some Mimorn Banshees. He is bringing the Veremon's Shamblers. He's bringing the allies, the regiments of renowned allies. That's incredible. Can't believe it. Wouldn't think to see it, but there it is. Remarkable, Rob? Absolutely remarkable. So Lex is a superstar. Recently just had a little one. Shout out to Lex. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it for Worlds, but was able to. He's up against Patrick Koch. Now the German team are very solid. Yeah, they've got lots of practice in, and so I'm really excited to see them play. He's playing with... he is playing with that Idoneth Deepkin army I discussed. That's what we're playing. Ghosts versus Fish. So what do you think? And don't forget, this is Presence of Idols. So what you're going to pick is Lex is going to have 3 idol units, probably his units of Harridans. Bladegeist. Almost certainly the 2 units of Bladegeist. Oh, because he's Scarlet Doom. Sorry, he normally when he plays Quicksilver Deads. Okay, so it's going to be his units of. It's going to be his units of Bladegeist Revenants. Yeah, he's up against Patrick Koch. That'll probably be his units of. I'm not really sure. Maybe the Reavers. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Probably his Slap King as well. Slap King will be 1, Reavers will be 2nd. Okay. All right, well, so that's Table 2. Let's go back to Table 1. Sorry, because what happens is there are 2 terrain layouts. And so after they've done the pairings and after they've decided what matches they're playing, they then decide what terrain layouts they play out, which are 2 different ones. Yeah, so that's how they ended up the little switcheroo there. So we are on Table 1. Oh, Scrivo, thank you. Great shot. Look at these 2 tall drinks of water right there, setting up, getting set, and that is some spectacular beard work right there. Incredible beard work. So what you're looking at is now Toby's a pretty understated chap. So you got Jeffrey on the right, who's an excellent Warhammer player, really, really brilliant, representing Team Netherlands. He's the captain, he's smart, he's well put together, and I've got a lot of time for Jeffrey, like a lot. On the right-hand side, you've got Tobias, Toby, how he's known, and he arguably is one of the best technical Warhammer players in the world. I think that's fair to say. Yep. He's won several team events himself. He's very, very impressive. He's very good. So this is going to be a thrilling match. Yeah. And if we just talk about the actual army, armies that they're playing. If I'm going through Tobias, he's playing Guild of Summoners, or Toby as I'm probably going to call him from the rest of the day. He's got Guild of Summoners, Disciples of Tzeentch, and he's playing 20 Pink Horrors, 10 Carrick Acolytes and 10 Zangor, and then he's running 2 Cockatrices, and he's got a Curseling, Kairos, and the Magister is what he's currently playing with.
Okay, big.
Yeah.
Rob, he's going into Slaanesh, and I'm going to need some help on this one.
Okay.
Because the first unit, he's Pretenders, first unit on his list, Glutos or Scullion.
Thank you. Glutos or Scullion.
The Lord of Gluttony.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he does. I've seen his model. I've seen him painted. I have never seen him touch a table.
Yeah, me either. But talk about Glutos. We feel like gluttons because I just want to thank Bobbin for donating £30 to the stream.
Kidding?
Thank you, Bobbin. That's super lovely of you. Thanks everyone in the chat for supporting the show by subscribing or donating. That's very kind. Thank you so much.
Spectacular.
Okay, so Glutos or Scullion is kind of interesting. He's a combat caster. Yep. So he definitely has a melee profile that you can't really ignore. He's got good spells that he can cast as well, and they've improved the spells in the Laura Slash anyway, so it's pretty decent. And also is a support caster and has buffs and AoE buffs around him.
Right.
It's quite interesting. He's definitely a big pick. Is there a Keeper of Secrets in there as well?
There is a Contorted Epitome and a Shard Speaker.
That makes sense. The Shard Speaker is going to do an AoE +1 to hit, +1 to wound aura.
Yep.
But the Contorted, I would say that Glutos is probably what you would replace the 10 Slickblade Seekers with. Tell me what's in the rest of the list. And we'll
rest of the list. 33 Blissbarb Archers in one big, chunky, thick unit. We then have another unit of 11 Blissbarb Archers and 5 Seekers. We then got 5 Blissbarb Seekers and 5 Slickblade Seekers with the Bringy Dingy.
Yeah, so what we saw previously, where we saw that unit of 10 Slickblade Seekers are going to change up for Glutos, probably doing that job of being a more survivable piece in the mid-board. So he's going to run around. So there you can see all of those. You still got all the Bliss Barbs doing all their work, but Glutos is just more survivable, and he heals better as well. So you've got more resilience and also more recursion. So you've got like the R&R, not rest and relaxation, resilience and recursion.
He is the thickest of kings. And you know what? I got to give a lot of respect to a thick king who comes to the battle still eating.
Perfect.
Correct.
So that's tables 1 and 2. We have Slaanesh versus Tzeentch on table 1, and then on table 2 we have Nighthaunt versus Deepkin. Okay, so table 3, we got a new battle plan being played. This is going to be Morgan versus Manuel Koch. Manuel Koch representing Team Germany. He'll be playing Piece of Chaos. And then Morgan with Host Duplicitous. He'll be playing Tzeentch. Tzeentch on our first set of tables is lovely. And they'll be playing the battle plan, which
Battle Lines Drawn.
Battle Lines Drawn. Now, the interesting thing about Battle Lines Drawn is you can see the territories are the top left and the bottom right. And, well, they're the 4 table quarters.
Yeah.
So they're 4 table quarters. So what you do is you split the board down the middle, and it's the 4 table quarters for holding those objectives. That's the secret sauce to this, and you just control territory. So other than that, it's just normal. It's
a big risk, though, because remember, the Realm spell does mortal wounds to everyone within 6 of an objective.
It's been FAQ, so it's now the center of the...
Oh, okay, I missed that one.
It's okay. I mean,
that's a shame. Blowing up a quarter of the board, very satisfying.
It's wildly niche. This battle plan itself has been played in like under 1% of all games.
More than Twists and Turns. Less than Twists and Turns, rather.
But it's pretty good. So let's go through the Beast of Chaos list played by Manuel Koch. I pretty like it. That's for Team Germany.
Yep. I mean, he's going into Disciples of Tzeentch, which is a really interesting looking matchup. And I actually had a chance to chat to the player. Do you mind if I jump through this?
Go for it.
He's playing Hosts Duplicitous rather than Guild of Summoners, which has been far more popular.
This is the Netherlands, Morgan.
This is, the Netherlands. He's got a Magister, obviously, a Lord of Change, a Flux Master, and Kairos Fate Weaver. He then has 2 units of 10 Pink Horrors, 10 Kyric Acolytes, the Burning Sigil, the Tome of Eyes, and the Umbral Spell Portal. Now, I had a chat to him, and he spoke about summoning Pink Horrors, and I believe he said somewhere in the vicinity of 150 wounds.
Oh, yeah, Pink Horrors. Yeah. Pink Horrors get a lot of summoning.
Absolutely staggering. The amount that he's going to attempt to bring on, and he just looked at me and he said, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Host Simplicitous is a sub-faction where you can't retreat from that army. So what he's going to do is try and run units into engagement with the enemy and make it so you can't retreat out of them. It's a board control and presence army. And really what Manuel Koch has to ask with his Beast of Chaos army if he's their output. And that has to be the real issue because he's got a Beast of Chaos All-Herd army. He's got a Doom Ball, kind of okay in a fight, not great. He's obviously got that ability to combat charge, charge in the combat phase. Great Brave Shaman, Brave Shaman. Better at taking out elite targets. 2 units of 6 Bulgor and a unit of 3 Bulgor. Then 20 Ungor Raiders, and then another 2 10s of Ungor Raiders. Now, if Morgan puts his Kairos, it was Kairos in his list, within range, that's potentially 80 shots off board, plus D6 mortal wounds to attempt to take out Kairos. That's going to be a bit of a there you can see. Look at him preciously holding on to that Kairos.
He doesn't even want to put it on the table because he knows the second it's down, it's going to get targeted.
Oh, so there's a Kairos and the Lord of Change in the list?
They're having a lovely... Kairos and Lord of Change. They're having a really magical little special moment surrounded by all those horrors.
Okay, so that's going to be pretty important. So it's unlikely he takes out both. I'd probably aim to take out the Lord of Change. But if you can take out either, and then you might see a very early first turn play here. We'll see. I'm pretty certain, and if tSports can confirm with me, I'm pretty certain that Morgan's going to get a chance to go first. But Emmanuel, is probably going to...
Yeah, Morgan, I think, is going to win the drop. And
I'd just send it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd just send it, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeet into the middle of the board.
Yeah, I'd just send it. Zines have the choice, so they won't let that happen. They're going to push out and build a screen immediately.
Yep.
Okay, so that's table 3. Table 4, we start to see a deployment. We've got Mitchell D representing the Netherlands, and he's got an Oakenbrow list, one of the few Oakenbrow lists here. It's super techie, but it's really cool. And then we've got Tristan representing Team Germany with a Jaws of Mork. Thank you so much. With a Jaws of Mork army. And they're playing table quarters. That's those 4 table quarters. They're going to be trying to control it. This is going to be very challenging for the trees. Dan, tell us what's in the Netherlands list.
Okay, devastating because the only thing worse than an elf is a tree. But here we go. Let's talk about the kindling. So they've got, they are Oakenbrow, and we've got an Arch Revenant, a Tree Lord Ancient, a Warsong Revenant, a Spirit of Durthu, and this is going to blow your mind, an allied Battle Mage. Now, the Battle Mage is obviously there because he's going to be tagging with the Spite Swarm Hive to give pluses to charge. Big, long, deep dives into the combat. We've got a very light battle line in 10 Dryads and 5 Tree Revenants, but then 2 big, beefy Tree Lords, the Chronomatic Cogs and the Spite Swarm Hive.
Okay, so this is actually quite important. The Arch Revenant is pretty good because he gives plus attacks, which is cool. The Warsong Revenant is a spellcasting bunker piece, and all of the damage is going to come out of the Spirit of Durthu. But obviously, that Battle Mage is going to be pretty intrinsically important, because he gives pluses to cast, which is pretty important.
Pluses to charge, rather. So combining that with the Spite Swarm Hive, he's going to be Durthu's going to be taking that sword and throwing himself from the trees into whatever he wants to kill. So why don't you tell us what he's going to be killing?
Oh, so he's up against the Jaws of Mork, and while I haven't read the list off I might be able to tell you off the top of my head.
I was about to say, Rob, I think after all of this time and after covering just about 2 Jaws of Mork lists per stream, we could probably call it without having to even look at it.
I can do it, though. I don't mind. I'm super happy to do it. So let's go through the Jaws of Mork. They have got Grincrack the Great. Don't forget, Grincrack the Great has got Fight on Death. Pretty big yikes for the Tree Lords and the Durthu. We've got a Madcap Shaman in there as well. Don't forget that Loon Shrine that John's given us a lovely shot of is going to be a unit that you return units from. And then a Squig Monster with Nash the Squig for that Hero Phase move, and a Madcap Shaman. 2 units of 36 Squig Herd, 2 wounds apiece, big jaw attacks, up to 5 attacks potentially, maybe 4 attacks in this list. Fight on Death thanks to Grincrack, very fast. And then 2 units of 4 Boingrat Bounders, literally the cavalry everyone wants. Everyone's like, why don't I have?
Why do goblins get the best cavalry in the game?
They're so good. 140 points, quite fast, pretty fighty, very good. Then a Marsh Crawler Sloggoth, +1 to hit AoE around everyone on the board. So yeah, very solid match, and they will be be playing. That's our first 4 games.
Yeah.
So first 4 games for everyone at home. We have Slanesh Pretenders with Glutos Oskellion against Guild of Summoners for Slanesh. Then on table 2, we have, and you can see him starting to deploy.
Excited for this one.
Yeah, we have
Nighthaunt versus
Ineth Deepkin. And then on this table, we have our Beasts of Chaos, table 3. So the first 2, are playing Presence of Idols. The second 2 are playing Battle Lines Drawn. So it's going to be
table quarters.
Table quarters. And we've got Tzeentch versus Beasts of Chaos. And then we have Sylvaneth with Tree Lords and Durthu against the Gloomspite Gits. Table 5, we got a new battle plan, Dan.
Ooh,
which is
new
pretty
battle
exciting.
plan.
Yeah, we got the Jaws of Galette. There are 5 objectives on the board. Those 5 objectives, as you can see, the player going second from Battle Round 2 gets to delete one of them.
Massive. That priority roll becomes huge because then you're not only controlling the choice of the activations, but you are controlling where the battle is fought.
To quote my good friend Jacob, this game is a very interesting game to do with tempo.
Yeah.
Because you can score very heavily early, and then as your army dwindles, because you lose resources and board presence, you slowly remove objectives at the same time. It's a tempo presence game.
Absolutely.
Which really benefits armies that go fast and hard. So we've obviously got Yarvan representing the Netherlands with Darkwalkers, so that's Beast of Chaos. And then Patrick Liu with the Knights of the Empty Throne for Slaves to Darkness representing Germany. What's Yarvan running?
Ooh, let's have a talk. So he's playing Darkwalkers, which means we're going to be seeing his units popping around the board, popping off, partying wherever they want to be. Now, he's obviously going to be doing what every Beast of Chaos player does, which is deploy nothing or very little on the board and bring it all on by turn 2, using it to kind of pick and place, which means his first couple of turns will be slow, but then it'll be a big, long one. Leader-wise, he has a Doombull as the general, because why would you take anything else? And 2 Great Bray Shaman. So he has a big, beastly Minotaur to punch face, and then 2 Goat Mages, 2 goatly spell singers. He has 2 units of 6 Bulgors, so 2 units of 6 choppy Minotaurs, both with paired cleaving axes. Now, we've seen this in multiple games. That means they absolutely chop, but they do drop to a stiff breeze if it comes back their way.
These double 6 Bulgor, I don't know what they're doing, but okay, interesting.
We've got a unit of 10 Gors, 2 units of 10 Ungors, and then 4 units of 10 Ungor Raiders. So lots of little units to be dancing around and trying to slow down the approach of his opponent. And then obviously a very tight and lots of drops. He's only got a Warlord and Galician Veterans, but he does have Galician Sharpshooters, meaning he will be picking out characters with that shooting.
He will. That would be very good. But he's up against Slaves to Darkness. I don't forget that shooting has little Wren, so it's very unlikely it's going to hurt this army.
He can target him, but he can't do it.
Thanks, Jacob, for resubscribing. Appreciate that a lot. There you can see. That's a KO army. He's ahead of me. We got we got Patrick Liu with his Knights of the Empty Throne. He's got, which means the mounted units in the book are going to be able to run and charge, Dan. So he's got 6 Knights of the Empty Throne as heroes, because you can do that when you take Knights of the Empty Throne. Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and then Chaos Sorcerer Lord, then 6 Varangard, 10 Chaos Knights with the mark of Nurgle, and then 2 units of 9 Corvus Cabal. They're very good for scoring early objectives, which I think is quite interesting, but we probably might not see them on. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one. This is those Bulgor definitely can lift up 1 unit of 6 Varangard.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they can take out 2 units of 6 Vanguard. After that's done, they've got nothing left to deal with the Knights.
Yeah, it might be a situation of trading, though, potentially.
That's what I mean. I think that they've only got 2 trades for 3, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 trades for 3. So this is going to be really interesting to watch. I'm going to be quite excited to watch this game go through. So those are our 2 tables playing Jaws of Galette. Oh, no, we got one more.
We got one more. And how dare you skip over the army that it belongs on this table, because they have the best of beards. When we go to table 6, the Netherlands are playing KO. Yep.
Can someone tell Max I love him? So you might not know this. So Max Baumann, representing Team Germany and the captain of Team Germany, has a podcast to do with Age of Sigmar. Yeah, it is called the Aethercast. It is specifically a podcast only, Dan, about Kharadron Overlords.
There we go.
He's only doing Kharadron Overlords. So he is now at a World Championship event playing a KO mirror.
Yep. Yep. What better place for him to be?
That's Max. There he is.
Right
number
there.
1, he's a tall drink of water. Love to see it. But number 2, I can't believe he's put himself on a KO mirror on stream. This is literally so he can make content about it. He's done the whole pairings just so he can do content about it, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
This is the dream. I wonder if the lists are identical, and if we read them in sync, they would come out exactly the same, like some kind of meet cute. Let's super quickly.
Oh no!
We
That's
got
actually big news. Max lost to the Cruel Boys last round, so yikes.
Cool. Not big news. We always knew Cruel Boys could do it. Cruel Boys in the chat. Rob actually got his tattoo during the break. Okay, so let's talk about the Netherlands list. He is Barak Zilfin, obviously, makes them better with the boats, and he's Arcanaut Admiral because he makes one of your ships better. Aether Chemist with leadership of the Alpha and an Etheric Navigator. So no spell in a bottle, no Soul Scream Bridge. Really interesting. We then see the less interesting part, 15 Grunstock Thunderers, 10 Arcanaut Company, an Arcanaut Frigate, 6 Endrin Riggers, and an Ironclad. So pretty standard. The thing that's interesting there is that only 1 unit of Grunstock Thunderers and a unit of Endrin Riggers with a frigate, meaning we've got a shooty boat and a combat boat, a little bit of a 1-2 punch. But I don't know. I don't know how much that's going to do. What's he up against?
So, I mean, the 15 Thunderers are always going to cause an issue. The lovely thing about the Endrin Riggers is the sheer volume of healing that they put into the Ironclad.
But they'll be on the frigate for sure. They'll be on the combat boat.
Yeah, so, and then we've got Kharadron Overlords, we've got Barak Urbaz, and then we've got 15 Thunderers, another unit of 5 Thunderers, and then an Ironclad, and then a spell in the bottle with a Soul Scream Bridge.
There it is.
So this is basically going to be a double turn here, or it's going to be a turn, then a turn engagement. This is literally Pistols at Dawn.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is.
Yeah, can we get the players to do like finger guns at each other?
High noon.
This is literally high noon.
Give us finger guns.
Whoever shoots first wins. Yeah. We got Scrivo on the camera on the players. We just need them to finger gun each other.
And whoever gets
the perfect KO mirror.
Whoever finger guns first is going to win this match. That's how we've decided it. I mean, neither of them has Cruel Boys, so it's not guaranteed because obviously Cruel Boys dominate KO.
So Mitchell Stahl, Max Baumann having a great time about this.
I mean, that man doesn't need finger guns. Look at the size of those biceps. He's packing a couple of deadly weapons attached to his trunk.
Mitchell is a cutie. All right, so table 5. Yeah, that's true. But just tell him, no matter how much he works out, he won't get any taller. So table 5. Table 5, we've got Jaws of Galette. Table 6, Jaws of Galette. KO versus KO. We have Beast of Chaos versus Knights of the Empty Throne. And the final pairing is we have a billion objectives.
The potentially billion objectives.
So this while it looks actually kind of beautiful in many ways, this is Realmstone Cache. So only the objective in the center is active. However, from Battle Round 3, they can explode in one of they'll explode into 2 objectives. They'll go 1 objective to the left and 1 objective to the right, and that's what you'll end up with. So pretty exciting. So you got Nico van Den representing the Netherlands and Colin Claren representing the Germans, and he has got the Quicksilver Dead, so he's running Nighthaunt. So Nighthaunt versus the Netherlands. Dan, take us through the Ravagers list.
All right, so he's playing Slaves to Dark Ravagers, which means he's going to be bringing a unit back after it's destroyed at half strength, and it's got the led by Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, the leader of the Chaos Gods and the destroyer of the world that was, who we saw die like a chump to the Cruel Boys last turn. F's in the chat for poor Archaon killed by a Cruel Boy
I can't believe we've got double Archaon Ravagers on the same
Ravagers. So he's also joined by an exalted hero of chaos who is actually the general, because obviously Archaon can't be trusted to lead. We also have a Dark Oath War Queen, and then we've got 2 units of 20 Splintered Fang, 2 units of 10 Splintered Fang. That's obviously why you can't buy them anywhere. They're all here. And then you have 1 unit of the Unmade, 1 unit of Untamed Beasts, and 2 units of Corvus Cabal.
So they're all on that top table. There you go. Nico just doing a great job of protecting his big boys. They're pretty fun. Now he's up against, again, this is a Quicksilver Dead, so this is the other Nighthaunt, which I think is really good. And quite interestingly, see the Germans take it and not Lex from Team Netherlands, because I know he likes to play this list as well. So let's talk about it, because It's very, very interesting. Don't forget all of the amazing things that you can do with the Nighthorn. You've got retreat and charge. Every time you charge, you can do debuffs to your opponent. You ignore Rend. You've got Raikador, the Grim Hailers in the list.
Oh, wow.
Krulgas Cruciator, Spirit Torment, Cairn Wraith, and then 4 units of 10 Dreadscythe Harridans that ignore Rend. They do ignore Rend. And then, yeah, we did. And then 2 units of Spirit Host, but they ignore ward saves when they attack. And then a unit of Hex Wraith. Now, don't forget, Colin Claren, we actually already saw in the singles event. Twice, actually. This is his 3rd time on stream, so now he's a pro.
Yeah.
He's almost been on stream as much as us this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Except I think he's had probably the much more stressful side of it.
Yeah, he has the much more stressful side of it. Colin, a quite methodical player. Definitely going to be very considerate. Raikador in the sword, thanks.
Raikador in the sword.
Okay, yeah. Just line it up. Request from the chat. Units you want to see in the sword. Right, no, please. Let's go.
Sword check. Yep.
So then, so that's Realmstone Cache, and then our final game, Realmstone Cache. Some of the games will be kicking off now. As we go, and that to me looks like a techless castle run by Daniel from Germany, representing using Helon, and then at the top we've got Nick Frey with the Jaws of Mork. I reckon I don't even need to look, but Dan, do you want to tell me what's in the Jaws of Mork army?
Okay, the Jaws of Mork army, again, Jaws of Mork means those squiggy beasts he's got, which are basically small sharks with legs that throw themselves at you. They're going to get an extra attack on the charge. He's got a fungoid cave shaman leading them with the clammy hand. Why would you take the clammy hand? Because it gives you better odds at bringing a unit back from the dead, getting that recycling going on. Because we've got to reduce, reuse, recycle where we can. We've got Scragrot the Loon King, who you absolutely would never leave home without at his points.
But no Grincrack.
I'm about to tell you, they got Grincrack.
Grincrack as well.
Yeah, Loon King and Grincrack. The King and the Crack, both of them, 2 Squig bosses with Nasher Squig,
cool.
handing out buffs to the Squigs.
So he's gone really heavy on the buffs.
Absolutely. This
a lot of people have gone
heavy.
for the 4x5 Boingrots instead.
Yeah, but let me tell you what he's got.
Yikes.
He's got a Squig herd of 36. He's got a Squig herd of 24. He's got another Squig herd of 24.
Nice.
Then he has 2 units of 10 Squig hoppers. It is truly staggering.
It's quite interesting. Like, he's gone for like less. I suppose dropping the Boingrots you get as trades. That's a different show.
Yeah.
That's me thinking through list building for a million hours.
Yeah.
Okay, really great. You can see them all powered around the Herdstone.
The Loon Shrine.
Loon Shrine. And then thank you very much, Charlie. And then finally, he's up against a Helon Castle. I'm just not even going to look at the list. I'm just going to tell you.
Okay, you tell me and we'll see how close you get.
It's Techless at the back. It's 2 units of 20 Wardens. We have a unit of... 2 units of 20 Sentinels, a unit of 10 Wardens on the left-hand side. Then we have a unit of Harridans as well. And somewhere in that mix is a Scenari Cathler. And then if there's another unit, I'd be amazed.
It's almost like that matches exactly the points that you would see, and that it's identical to every other team.
Perfect.
Yeah, you never leave home without.
There's also the Wind Chargers who are in the list as well. Yep. Lovely. Okay, so we're on. It's ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the chat who you're rooting for. We've got Team Netherlands, Team Germany. It's pretty exciting. Let's see who you're going for. Table 3 is already kicked off, so we're going to jump over to Table 3.
Let's get over to Table 3.
Zinch got the choice. This is our Beasts of Chaos versus Zinch, Dan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, there's some units off the board. We've had a unit of horrors. So Beasts of Chaos were given the turn by Zinch.
Yep.
They used a Ritual of Ruin.
Yeah.
They dragged a unit away. That's a unit of horrors. They're going to be looking to see if they can use a command trait that the Beast Chaos have called Bestial Cunning to drop a unit outside 7 inches, 6 Bulgor. They want to get them somewhere around this bottom of this board here. They're going to charge them in if they get the opportunity.
Yep.
And they're going to try and take out a Lord of Change, maybe 2.
Now,
we'll see how greedy they get.
Some people might be thinking, how are they going to get the charge around the back of that unit? Remember, they do have the ability, using the Doom Ball that we see in every single list, to declare a charge in the combat phase, meaning that they can get in there, if they can get a charge that's going to tag this unit in the bottom, they can then continue a charge on if they have nothing that's engaged with them into the combat phase and get around. And if those Bulgor can get into those birds on turn 1, it'll be all she wrote before this battle even starts.
Yes, of course. Now, I don't know, we haven't seen those deployed yet, but we... Oh, so the Beast of Chaos player has ended their turn and scored 5 points.
Wow.
What it looks like is they went for an opportunity Ritual of Ruin. They were like, I wonder if I can pull these, because it's a 2d6 roll.
Yeah.
So if I can pull them 12 inches, then I'll make the go. If I can't, and instead he's dropped a unit on the board and he's dropped another unit on the board.
I would guess there's something up. It looks like there's a hero up here on the top. Just
don't forget this is table quarters. So top right corner there is Shaman and Raider, so he's just got more objective than his opponent. Score points. I got a question from the table to the table boss. Did we see any shooting from off the board? We do have some Ungor Raiders. That's the only thing I want to do.
Okay, it sounds like the
Ungor Raiders shot some acolytes and killed 3 pink horrors. So they cleared off like one of the screening units already. Then I think what this is going to do is it's maybe trying to force Morgan to reclose that defensive gap. I think Morgan could be in a very strong position. So I think what Morgan might be able to do quite strongly, because Morgan now has to start contesting objectives.
Absolutely.
And he has to go like this. But he doesn't want to break this egg open.
No, as soon as it opens, there's going to be Bulgors pouring in there.
And so I think Manuel's done a really good job here. He said, hey, by the way, you've got to go into 3 different locations, but you don't want to break apart at all. And unfortunately, while the Lords of Chains themselves are fast, the pink horrors here aren't the quickest.
No. Okay. So this will be a really interesting turn, because how Zeech deal with this board state? They don't know where the threats are. They don't know what's going to come after this big bird's egg, basically, that they've created. So who's going to get to the yoke is the question, and how? Because with 2 units of Bulgor, both of them could potentially shop 3. In fact, I think 2 units of 6, 1 unit of 3.
Yep.
He could hit 3 times, do a ton of mortal wounds on the charge, and then jersey sling one of them into the birds. Which
pink horrors are great though, because you're never mortal wounding them off and getting the charge in.
That's a good point.
But I think making your opponent have to move units pretty far to get places is very clever. Now Morgan, because he's playing Host Duplicitous, can move some units pretty fast, and maybe there we go.
Ooh.
What we're seeing is the Burning Sigil of Zeech go down. So that's going down there, and it's going to do mortal wound. Oh no, sorry, that's the Umbral Spell Portal.
Yeah.
Oh, he's pre-measuring.
He's just pre-measuring to check it.
Okay, well, we can come back to this game in a moment anyway. We'll see how he's unpacked. We've got lots of games to cover. And there we can see our pretenders have finally gone down on table 1. In the top right-hand corner, played by Jeffrey. There's Glutos or Skillion. He looks great.
Yeah.
And then in the bottom left-hand corner, Tobias. Tobias is screened out a load. He's got the cockatrice on the flank here.
Yep.
That's going to make you hit on 6s. Another cockatrice here. The absolute yeet screen of
wow.
pinks in the middle. Now, this is pretty interesting, because Jeffrey is maybe going to get a actual metric ton of depravity points from this pink horror screen.
I was about to say, Rob, we were talking about squigs being depravity pinatas. If they're depravity pinatas, what does that make a pink horror?
Yeah, I don't know. And I think Slaanesh has taken the first turn.
I mean, maybe they're a depravity tap. Look, the thing is, if they put one of these units of Slick-Bellied Seekers and they yeet them across turn 1, they could potentially put enough depravity into their pocket on turn 1 to have a 5-up ward across the entire army.
Exactly.
Imagine the state of it if you were a Zeech player who relies on mortal wounds to do your damage, and your opponent has a army-wide 5-up ward before you've had a chance to cast a spell.
I think that maybe is the play. Like, just do full send and push it all in. He has got to get through hundreds of wounds to get to the bin cheekers behind. They're going to be doing a bunch of mortal wounds in, and all the mortal wounds they do, they are going to be casting spells and generating fate points.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really positive for them. So be very interested to see.
Absolutely.
This is a fun match. So table 1, Slaanesh have taken the first turn.
Of course they have.
Table 2, we have seen Scarlet Doom, run by Lex, have been given the first turn.
Oh, wow.
The Idneth Deepkin have given the turn away. So that is all of our Bladegeist Revenants. We've got a unit of Hexwraith screening at the top of the board. We have a unit of Chain Rasps in the front. And then all of our Harridans, Bladegeist Revenants at the back. What's good about them? When they fly for a start, and when they charge, they do mortal wounds as they charge in. So it's ghosts.
It's spooky ghosts.
It's spooky ghosts. Shout out to Lex's family if they're listening at home, or Patrick's, or anyone's family. If there's anyone's family at home who's listening from Team Germany or Team Netherlands, do give us a shout in the chat. Lovely to say hi to them.
And who are you going for as well? The host nation or the visitors?
Both. I'm super unbiased.
No,
just
Team
like
Germany.
you, Dan. You don't care who wins between Canada and Australia.
That's not fair. It's not a fair.
Don't
not
care.
fair. I have too many dogs in both fights.
That's why you don't care. You just not bothered.
No, I care the most. I think I care too much if I'm guilty of anything.
Okay. You don't want either to win. That's what you said.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth like the fudge that you keep eating.
That's so much fun. Yeah, so we're going to see those units. Patrick, we're going to get a shot of Patrick at the minute. Patrick looks vibes.
Yeah.
He's just over the moon.
Look at that.
He's like, yes. Move towards my deep kin.
Come here.
He honestly looks like an old sailor.
He for sure does. I feel like he looks like if you licked him, it would taste like salt.
I reckon he's an extra from the film The Lighthouse.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Patrick. Loads of love. So Patrick's got some great units. He's got these eels and the Achillean King. Lex has to be careful of the Achillean King because while Lex is going to ignore the Ren the Achillean King can do in. If he stacks a load of units together, the Achillean King can shoot like a missile, stack a load of extra attacks. He gets an attack for every unit within 3 inches, 2 attacks for every unit on every melee profile for every unit within 2 inches, so he can generate a lot of attacks. But I think Lex isn't too bothered. I think the Nighthawk armies are literally built to be hit.
Yeah.
That's how they build themselves as an army, so we'll see. Okay, not family, but a couple of Germans at my club mates. Let's go.
Now, as Owen Jackson described it so well during singles, what these Nighthawk are going to want to do is set up a Doom Lozenge, a big old Doom lozenge, which is just too much. Because the thing is, what's going to happen is these very damp, very moist elves are going to try to make their way through it, kind of work their way through, and they will eventually peel away the layers. However, it does look like if we jump to the top down here, they're setting it up quite nicely through this line. They're most likely going to push it out so that their screens are moving into these 2 objectives. They'll probably just lock it up there and leave that bottom objective away, not worry about it too much, and just let the waves of these sea elves break against the Doom Lozenge. And that's clearly going to be the plan. And
Doom
the question
lozenge,
is, can they bust up the Soother?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Normally, you put a lozenge. No, table 3. We have the priority roll already coming up. I know you're going to say to yourself, my God, that seems really fast, but don't forget Beast of Chaos haven't deployed. Will Beast of Chaos ever win a priority going into turn 2? Beast won the priority into turn 2! What's happened? It's never happened. It's never happened.
It's a miracle.
It's huge.
It's a Christmas
miracle.
miracle.
While we're not rooting against Manuel, just to know, we have never, ever in the life, hit me with a pun. We've never, ever seen Beast win a priority on stream so far. This is absolutely massive news.
Big stonks.
This is where he ends up just taking it and we just cry.
Yeah.
Why is this super important? Because as you can see, there's only a couple of BC Chaos units that have been deployed on the board, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the top right and the top.
They've literally just put enough units on the board to capture objectives. They haven't invested a single cent more.
So hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 points in their army are deployed off board. And the entire point of this, right? You said the exact same thing about Beast of Chaos and Prior yesterday with Bill's Game Amount. In fact, Jacob, we've said that about every single Beast of Chaos game. That's why we just celebrated, because we've never seen Beast of Chaos ever win the turn into 2 and then also give the turn away. We've only ever seen Beast of Chaos be given the turn into 2 and then win the game. Yeah. We saw it in the singles twice. Saw it. We've seen it in every situation. So it's going to be really interesting to see why it's important. There are units off the board.
A lot of units off the board.
Yeah, as you can see, the entire army is off the board. So now Zinch has to try and move a little bit more aggressively into the board, knowing it's about to get hit, maybe hit on the double.
Huge.
And that's pretty massive. So you're absolutely right. We've said this has been important before. And it's ended up being some amazing plays by the Beast of Chaos players because they have such a tactical toolbox.
Here's the worry, though, Rob. We've said that every time when they've been given the top of turn 2 and had to show their hand early. And they've got the win. Does this mean that this time, when they've got the role that they want, they've given away priority, that the beasts are doomed to failure?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, the guys looking over rules. We're going to see what Manuel. Morgan does with his army now, because he's going to have to unpack this quite aggressively.
Yeah.
So we've got to be really cautious and work out exactly what it is. Right. Okay. So. Let's go over to table number 4.
Yeah.
So table 4, we've got the Sylvaneth. So Sylvaneth have got the choice to go first. And it does look like they've given the turn away to the Git. So this is on table 4.
Yeah. On table 4, correct.
On table 4. Quickly, though, but while we wait for that, you can see on the screen, these are the matches on the screen from Ziggy. So you can see all those ongoing matches for everyone at home. Thank you, bud. I appreciate that. I thought that was the win rate thing. That was great. So they've given the turn away. Sylvaneth given the turn away to the Gits. Don't forget, this is table... Thank you. Those are table quarters. So he's moved up the unit of Fanatics. He's moved out the unit of... Oh, I'm not sure, actually.
Ooh, interesting.
Unit of Boingrot Bounders. Thank you so much. So we've got the unit in the bottom left, unit in the bottom top right. And then he's just saying, okay, very much like we saw in the last game.
Yeah.
I have some table quarters. I'm up on the primary.
Absolutely.
This is your job now to get me off the primary. And this is quite an interesting match because... Sylvaneth don't like to leave their bunker.
No.
Yeah, that like they are just in a foresty bunker.
The trees are their happy place.
They love it. They love it. And so Mitchell's going to be sat in there, but he is going to have to go out, fight these units. That's going to be really important. So we'll see. I think,
and when we look down here, look, these units of Boingrot Bounders that he has lying down the bottom, middle, and then this little pressure up the side here as well, their output and their speed is enough that they can commit anywhere and clear just about anything. They cleared a whole unit of Fire Slayers last round yesterday. They have the speed and the damage to do what they need to do no matter what, meaning they don't have to overcommit up the board, knowing that whatever threat comes this way from the Sylvaneth, they'll be comfortably able to move there and counter it solo without much support.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, this match. I feel like if you put a gun to my head right now, I'd say that Sylvaneth are against it in this match from the offset. But I say that a lot about Sylvaneth. Sylvaneth have to say to themselves, okay, how am I going to unpack, attack the enemy, but still get back to my castle? Yeah. It's a very unique army.
And they need to stay within the trees to get the buffs and to have the flexibility that they need as well.
It's super interesting. Yeah. And I'm really excited to see what he decides to do here. Well, here we go. First turn, he's just like, out comes Big Popper.
There he is.
So Big Dirthu is out there.
Did the Spite Swarm Hive go off?
Yeah, so we do need to check whether or not the Spite Swarm Hive went off. And also, did he get the Battle Mages spell?
The Battle Mages, a wild form, I believe it is.
So that gives him plus 4 to charge. So that gives him a 5-up rerollable. It might give him plus 5 to charge.
Plus 2 from the wild form. So, and I'm not aware of what the Spite Swarm Hive does.
I think it gives you plus 2 or plus 3.
I'm not a filthy Sylvaneth Woods player. Wood is fuel.
Oh, look, we've got the Tree Lord in the bottom left-hand corner as well. That's pretty interesting. So now he will be able to strike and fade with a unit, and he probably is going to plus 3. Thanks, chats. Oh, so you did get both off, so you're going to get plus 5 inches to his charge.
Wow, okay, now, so he only needs a 4.
Now, what's quite interesting, though, is being able to go deep is quite fun with his army. So while he's got, you get plus 5 inches so that you can make a 9-inch charge.
Yeah.
But if you roll a 12...
You're going where you want.
You're going 17 inches. Now, he's not going to go any deeper because he's going to want to stay within the aura of the tree, because if he finishes combat inside the aura of the tree, or the wildwood, then he's going to be able to teleport back to his bunker. So generally, a very interesting army, but he might go long, as they say.
Now, the thing is, though, this is going to really force Tristan to aggress with the Jaws of Mork, with his Gits, because if he doesn't, what's going to happen is every turn we can see here, Dirthu is just going to pop out, teleport through, hit something, and then move back here into the safety of the Sylvaneth tree bunker. And he can't let that happen too many times.
It's true.
Especially given that these units of Boingrot Bounders are only 5 strong. It's not like he has a big one that he can recycle a 30 unit into a 15. Yeah. He's not going to want to recycle those units as often. So I think he really probably needs to try and catch Dirthu lacking before he can get back.
Right, so table 5, we have heard that the Slaves of Darkness have already finished their first turn. These games with Beasts of Chaos are always really quick because they don't deploy.
The first 2 turns are really quick, and then the Beasts of Chaos take a turn to deploy, and there's about 45 minutes. It's like diving into molasses.
So now we've got the Slaves of Darkness, we've got the Varangard, and also the Chaos Knights all moving into what is a very massive Massive square. So Slave Darkness scored 5 points. No surprise to any of us.
When there's nothing on the board to stop you, pretty easy to score points.
He's used these units of Corvus Cabal that do start off the board to create screens.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, he's trying to screen out as much as possible because he obviously doesn't want the big Bulgor charge to hit in here. Which is very fair.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I understand that a lot. And then he's just holding the board. So we've got to wait to see what the Beast Chaos player does here. But I want you to know this is not going to be, again, he's going to be very non-committal. But he could do, like, I don't quite get sometimes why I see the Beast Chaos players always go away till turn 2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
In this situation, he doesn't have to wait till turn 2. He's set on a double.
Yep.
No one ramps in any particular way.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose because he wants to go second in a turn, delete an objective, I guess.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, remember, the more you can do from off the board, pulling units out of position, throwing those D6 mortal wounds around, you can potentially put a bit of output there. But, yeah, the thing is often...
Just send it.
Well, but here's the thing, right? Almost every single player brings their Beast of Chaos on turn 2.
Yes.
Which means most people, when they're making their turn 1 move, they're thinking, okay, turn 2, how am I going to deal with it? You drop your beasts turn 1, you'll potentially take a lot of players here, especially at this event, by surprise, because they have spec'd for turn 2 beasts deployment.
It's different as well. Like Beast with Be'lakor is like a better pick for doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
In a lot of ways, and that's not available right now. So anyway, interesting to see whether or not the beasts do land. We have finally got our KO on the board in our KO mirror, the gun match.
Yep.
Pew, 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 pew. Again, playing again on the battle plan, Jaws of Mork. Jaws of Mork? No, Jaws of Galette.
No. This Jaws of Galette. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is Jaws of Mork, and they are looking to gun each other down. Not Jaws of Mork, again, the Jaws of Galette.
Too many
That's
Jaws.
The battle plan.
Too many Jaws. We've been saying Jaws for so long.
The Jaws of Galette, and they're going to try and gun down some units. But right now, we don't know who's taken the turn. Oh, no, we do know Germany's already scored 5 points. So Germany's already scored 5 points. We'll make sure we get the battle tactic chosen for that. We'll just double check on table 5. Saves of Darkness did choose to take the first turn, so they could flood the board a little bit. So they took the turn. And then it looked like KO on table 6 for the Germans also took the first turn. Which means on table 7, Slaves to Darkness had the choice. So this is our Archeon and all of the Ravagers. They have chosen... it looks like he's made a Archeon-sized hole.
I was
in the middle
about to say he wants to know exactly where Archeon can go, and so he needs a pre-measure base.
A pre-measure,
which we actually see with a lot of more tribes players with their Stonehorns for their big Stonehorn overcharge.
Yeah, they
can
do.
Fly
Bringing a spare base is legit. I think you can bring spare bases for quite a few different armies.
Well, it just allows you to pre-measure. I think it's actually a great play and very honest play as well, because you can pre-measure and guarantee that you're not. Like sometimes you measure something, you forget where the front or the back of the base was. This makes it really easy.
Okay, so he has rolled the eye. So what you have, Archeon has the ability to roll a dice and then to know who gets the next turn. It's a once per game ability, and he rolled it. And he didn't tell, and he found out that the Nighthaunt are going to get the next turn. So,
so that big plate that we see in the middle here, that was clearly where Archeon was going to go. Thank you, Scrivo. Great shot. That was clearly where Archeon was going to go if he were going to win the next turn, because he could jump on over there, get there, and know that he had another turn to aggress into that Doom Lozenge, which I'll never get tired of saying. But now that he knows he's not going to get the double turn, I think Archeon's probably going to play it a little bit more secluded, a little bit more safe, have a cup of tea and just wait to commit.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. He's going to be real serious about it. Now, when in this match we've seen play previously, Colin is very, very protective of the mid-board. He makes sure to keep all of these units as safe as possible. Does look like Archeon can fit in that gap, though.
Yeah, but he won't. Not if he knows that he's not getting next turn.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he knows that the Night Hornet will have an entire turn to counter Archeon. We might see him go in there, but I just, if you know you don't have a chance at the double, you wouldn't commit to it. So we will just I think what we'll see is we'll see some light aggression, probably pushing up along these lines here, where they're going to move out and try to keep that Doom lozenge kind of in more of this area rather than letting it stretch out to the sides.
Okay, that makes sense. It's quite interesting. Oh, yeah, we're playing Realm Stone Cash.
Yes.
Oh, it's the full send.
It's full send, yeah.
It's full send all the time.
Yeah, full tilt. So very easy for them as well, obviously. With all of these commitment to small units of the Untamed Beasts, Corvus Cabal, everything like that, it'll be very easy to kind of like pin them in. However, remember, they want to set up the Doom Lozenge. They want to get all their buffs out and lock it up. And when they have the Krulgash Cruciator, Krulgash Cruciator sitting there reducing all that damage, Archaon will go in and everything will be reduced damage by 1, which makes it harder for him to push what he needs to.
I agree. And then over on table 8, just to finalize who's making the choices, it looks like LRL is taking the first turn. LRL taking the first turn right now in this match. Again, this is Realm Stone Cash. That means the only current active objective is the middle. So the whole idea is push the Wardens along that front line, bring up some shots, take all of the damage. Look at that unison.
Oh, we're great at this.
Bring all of that damage into the mid-board and then just hope to suck it up. I got to say, I feel like this is a toughie. We've seen Jaws of Mork now take a lot of damage and do a lot of damage, but as we've talked about previously, the Lumineth Realm Lords have an amazing set of abilities to shut down the Jaws of Mork. We're going to find out from our table boss if he has cast any of the Be'lakor-like spells, which are going to reduce movement and shut down how fast units are going to be able to fight and charge. So you have two. You have Overwhelming Despair from the Calathalar, which is an 18-inch spell, which makes it so that you have to roll dice to be able to engage. And then you have one Crippling Vertigo.
Which is more about movement rather than attacking.
Yeah, so Crippling Vertigo has gone on the orange squigs.
Over here in the far left.
And then Overwhelming Despair has gone on the blue squigs.
So both units of squigs, Scrivo's given us the shot there. This blob of squigs here are all potentially not able to act. However, remember, this is the list that instead of going Boing Rot Bounders, instead of going anything, he went, sometimes less is more. More is more. And so he went with an absolute metric butt ton of squigs.
Yeah, so there is one unit of herders that he could send if he wants to. Okay, and then he's got a 5-up ward save on everyone. And then if you look, what he's done is he's debuffed the orange unit, so they might not be able to move, charge, or fight. He's debuffed the blue unit, so they might not be able to move or charge. And then he's screened off the other blue unit.
Yeah.
Who is playing this? Daniel.
Good name. Great name.
Let's play some. Daniel's playing some solid Warhammer. I want everyone to know this is. This Daniel. I saw him play the other day. He got wrecked by Milladin's Beast of Chaos.
He did.
But he's good.
It was a great game, though.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game. Okay, this is really good. Okay,
so we're
just going to jump to table 4. So this is our Sylvaneth match, played by Mitchell for the Netherlands against Tristan for Germany with his Gloomspite Gitz. If you remember, Durthu in the first turn, Sylvaneth in the second turn, they gave the first turn to Gitz. They teleported Durthu in, charged in, killed 7 squigs, but took 5 wounds in return.
Rough.
With Fight on Death, and then translated back, struck and fade back, that's exactly what he did, to heal up. And then has to the top right-hand corner. Yes, there you go.
Top left-hand corner.
And then he has won the priority into turn 2. But we don't know. So Sylvaneth and also the Netherlands have won the priority into turn 2 on this table. Question, Dan, do you think he's going to take it, or do you think...
I think he's going to give it, honestly. Look at where the squigs are at this point in time. They're so far back that they can't put much pressure on him, but the only issue he's going to be worried about is if they do move up, they'll shut down the use of this tree by getting a unit within 3 inches of it, and that's going to make it almost impossible for him to keep playing out. So it's tough to know, really tough to know. I think I'd probably expect him to give it away and just assume you're losing the tree, because getting the double turned by the squigs into turn 3 would pretty much be game over for this Sylvaneth list. So I think he's got to give it away. Otherwise, he's risking it all on a dice roll.
I agree. Okay, I think this is interesting. So Fight on Death isn't good for Sylvaneth because it happens before Strike and Fade, but also I'd like to maybe posit to my table boss and also you, Dan, Fight on Death isn't good for anyone. Like anyone.
No, it's a terrible game mechanic.
No, it's a good game mechanic. But it's a difficult problem.
Yeah,
it's a difficult problem.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't have to think. Yeah. Anything that removes the need for tactical thought in this game is silly to me.
I quite like it. I think that there's some really engaging elements to it. As long as there are also some other elements. Oh, apparently everyone but me doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's it. We're hearing for all the table bosses are chiming in and saying,
Yikes.
Rob, you're wrong about this and you're wrong about Cruel Boys.
Okay. Oh, well, no, it's okay. Charlie says he doesn't mind it. So there we go. One on my team. One on my team. All right. So table one, we are going to see. Let's see what Slaanesh have done. Now, it looks like Toby is moving his units, and so I'm just triple-checking to see if he is. This is shooting. Okay, so Jeffrey is taking his first turn, as we discussed. He took the first turn. He's run at the castle, and he is starting to shoot at all of these horrors now.
Right.
That's what he's looking to do. And then I think he's taking the opportunity. As you can see, there's a cockatrice here.
Ooh.
But the other cockatrice is... I'm just going to try and measure, is here. Now, he can, at the start of the combat phase, or they can, these cockatrices, shoot at a unit within 6 inches and...
petrify it with that steely gaze.
On a 4+, they take mortal wounds. And like Dan has said, they're petrified and then they only hit on 6s. That makes that pink horror screen much more survivable. But it does look like the one at the far left-hand backside is a little bit further back than it used to be.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, wow, this is huge.
Well, okay, this is big. This is real big.
This is actually literally the point of the game in many ways. So this unit of archers... this unit of archers...
Oh, wow.
So let's explain what happened. There's an endless spell here that gets set up before even Tzeentch have a turn in the game. It's called the Burning Sigil of Tzeentch. You roll a dice for each unit within 6 inches, on 9 inches, I think. And on a 4+, you take D3 mortal wounds. If you kill a model, which we've seen a unit, thank you very much there, Scriver, we've seen a unit of one Blizzbarb Archer died, and then it turned into a Chaos Spawn. That means it locked. That means it locked the Blizzbarb Archers in combat, and also Glutos or Scullion. Glutos or Scullion then has a shooting attack and was going to kill the Chaos Spawn, and then Toby Destiny diced it, which is a set of dice that you get for Tzeentch to stop the attack from going through.
Yeah, good.
That meant, and it's a great play by Toby, this is his Destiny dice, that meant that the Tzeentch spawn stayed alive. That means that the Blizzbarb Archers, which are going to be shooting up to 44 shots, all have to shoot them into that one spawn instead of into the probably cockatrice it was going to aim all of its shots at.
Yeah, it's really good when you have a mechanic in a game that stops someone rolling dice in a dice game. I think that's just truly the best. Love it. Don't roll dice. Just choose what the outcome is. That's great. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I don't think Tzeentch is messed up because of it. Now, look, the other thing, just super quickly here, is that did you know Slaanesh are actually incredibly susceptible to the cockatrice's steely gaze? Because reliably, I'm informed that the cockatrice petrification gaze is actually just blue steel, and obviously Slaanesh love a good smolder.
I'm going to throw something at Dan now.
Yeah,
Dan. We don't know this, but blue steel might be a dated reference. Like, it's Zoolander.
Really?
I mean, it's the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's Zoolander.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
No,
I'm just saying, say maybe.
Might be. Okay,
like, the audience themselves, I don't know. The audience can tell us, but I reckon, I know.
Okay, here's the question to the chat. Do you know what blue steel is?
Yeah, that's the question.
Do you know what blue steel is?
Yeah, like, I think, I'm with you.
I get it. I'm just saying, do I need to, readjust?
I just don't know what the blue steel of the 2020s is. That's what I'm saying.
That's a good point. What is the blue steel of the 2020s?
Yeah. Someone says I prefer Latigra. Okay.
Refos. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic response.
Okay, so some of the Zoomers in the chat are being like, I'm not too keen on this.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, we're hearing some people prefer Magnum, which is, that's interesting. Prefer the classics.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see. Some of the Zoomers, when they go home and watch, we'll see. They're currently out now, probably kicking over bins.
Right. Going Feral.
Okay, so table 2, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very exciting match here. Idneth Deepkin gave the first turn away to the Nighthaunt. We set Nighthaunt set up this block here, screen out the top, and then we've seen Idneth Deepkin we gave that first turn away, and that's what Nighthaunt did. Then in their first turn, as we can see, it looks like they've set up some thralls here. They've set up their eels at the bottom. They've set up their Eidolon at the back, and then probably their Reavers at the back, if I just double check that. And then Idneth Deepkin did not win the priority into this turn.
Yep.
Instead, Nighthaunt won it, and Lex, quite smartly, has given the turn away. What he's effectively saying is, you didn't go all in on the first turn.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Have another turn.
And then I'm going to take a shot.
And then I'm going to take a shot. So it's all about activations.
Well, and here's the thing. He knows that if... Oh, great shot. Thank you, Scrivo. He knows that if the Idneth don't commit with some units, they're going to be allowing all of these Nighthaunt to just flood across the board and start doing damage, dealing pressure, and set up that Doom lozenge exactly where he wants it to be on the objectives. He's put him in a really tough place. It was interesting. I think maybe the Idneth didn't position particularly well for losing priority and being given it. So I know that they're going to be wanting to stay off and wait until they have the advantage of the tides, but unfortunately they're going to be probably in a position where they're struggling with board presence by then. So I think this is a really, really strong choice, really strong play by Lex, and maybe just slightly lacking in the commitment from Patrick, and that priority roll is going to make him pay for it.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Thank you. So a really interesting match. We will come back to table 2 in a moment after we see what the Deepkin decide to do. Deepkin kind of have to send it now. They're already down on points. Patrick can already see there. He's got the bottom right-hand objective, and he probably is going to just do this. He's going to be like, John, I'm going to give up here.
Yep.
And I'm just going to, at some point, send. And don't forget, Deepkin and Nighthaunt are on a ticking clock.
Yeah.
Deepkin, across their whole army, always strikes first on the third turn.
Yeah.
So what he might be doing, and there you can see Patrick having to think about what he's going to do, or maybe just remembering a sea shanty that he learnt in a port somewhere near Barbarossa or something. I don't know.
So the battle's actually going to be fought over this. Yeah, there once was a sailor put to sea.
There was one a man called Patrick C. He tried to charge the ghost, you see.
And the ghost turned around and got very choppy. So we will not do that again. Okay, great. So I think what we're going to see is that the most of the battle is going to be fought over this objective. We're going to see a pivot here where we're going to see a lot of these Deepkin pushing from this angle. Nighthaunt have no interest in that bottom objective. They're going to be pushing around here to set up the wall, and the big fight is going to be across this center line here.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go through some of these other games as well, but just very quickly while you look at it, here's what our matchup should look like. Thank you to Ziggy for doing this. We've got Disciple Zinch in Healer sessions of 50-50, so it's going to be an interesting one. The Deepkin match we just talked about, they should be winning it against Nighthaunt. It's 67% win rate there, so...
I mean, look, but that's what the win rate says. They've got the Nuggets, but at the moment on the board, not particularly looking like it.
And then we've got Beasts of Chaos going into Disciples Zinch. That's a split pretty evenly. Maybe Beasts go away.
Yep.
Looks like Gits into Sylvaneth. Looks like it's the Gits game. Then we've got Slaves to Darkness.
Oh, my dear.
Yeah, Slaves to Darkness and Beasts of Chaos. But I actually don't necessarily agree with that on this mission. I think
that's true.
But we'll see. I could be very wrong. Kharadron Overlords versus KO. Obviously, it's 50-50 because it's a mirror. Nighthaunt versus Slaves to Darkness goes Nighthaunt way. They do have the ability to strip down armor saves quite nicely. And finally, Lumineth Realm Lords going into Gloomspite Gits should be a more difficult game for Gloomspite Gits than you see normally.
Yeah, interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I mean, but we've seen already so many upsets from those odds multiple times, so hard to know.
Right, okay, so we're on table 3. Don't forget, just to keep you updated, the Zinch Force gave Beast of Chaos the first turn. They just grabbed some objectives because it's table quarters.
Yep.
They just grabbed some bits of the table quarter and they said, hey, buddy, this is on, it's your turn. Zinch took their turn, moved up a little bit, and then they won the prio. Beasts of Chaos won the turn. They said, you know what, Zinch boys? You have it, because I'm going to drop from I'm going to sneak out from the forests, like a good wildebeest should.
But you know what he's done before he snuck from the forest?
I'm ready.
He's had a bloody timeout, Rob.
Has he? Did he time out?
No, he didn't time out. He's having a timeout. He's going to have a bit of a chat to his coach, maybe get a little bit of tea, banana there, just a snack.
Probably getting a banana.
Quick snack for potassium, and then just to probably talk about the plan for the drop. Because it is big. This is going to be big.
He also will have spent 0 time in deployment.
Yeah.
So some of those other games, the coach by this point should have some sort of assessment of where he roughly thinks the game will go.
Yeah.
At his point. So what he's basically asking his coach now is, do I need to make it a close game, or can I fully send it and try for a big win?
Yeah.
And that's the real interesting question. He has to ask himself. He's asking the coach, which one do I go for? Because he does have a couple of options.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can't wait to see what he decides.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. And when we say that, it's there's some play into the scorings, into the pairings in future rounds. But the question is do I play it safe, score points, and probably win with a tight victory, or do I risk it big and the odds are maybe 70% that I get a big win, but there is that chance of a big loss. And what the coach thinks, because remember, this is 8 tables. This is a full team, and so the play of the whole team matters, and your position in it becomes really important.
Very important, yeah. A tight loss is much better than a full send. Yeah. But let me tell you, in a singles event, this is also what's quite interesting as well. What you're watching at a team event is you're watching players really think about how many points they're going to score and just maximize their score, not be bothered about winning necessarily, because maximizing the score means they still get some points for the team, and that's all they care about. That is all they care about. Okay, I want to see where the Beast of Chaos land, but we're still on this match. So the Beast of Chaos on this match, the Slaves of Darkness in this game on table 4.
We are still in turn 1 here, so we haven't seen
I'm sorry, we missed table 4 for a moment.
Yeah, right.
Just want to keep track with the Sylvaneth. Don't forget, they won the priority into 2, so it looks like they took the turn and they're going in again. They've dropped both of their 2 Tree Lords now in the bottom left-hand corner, going after these Boingrots. And it looks like they're going to try and, after the first turn, where they gave Gitz the first turn, Gitz moved out.
Yep.
Then we saw Durthu charge in, strike, wipe a screen, and now Durthu's looking for the big hit.
Yeah, but the thing is, the bigger he hits, the more he takes back.
It's true.
The question I've got for the table boss, if they get a chance, is how many wounds Durthu healed. He took 5 last turn. How many did he get back? And did the spell go off on him again to give him that full +5 to charge? Oh, that looks like a measurement base.
It does look like a measure.
Which means I'm guessing Durthu's in again. But how many wounds does he have on him? I do see a dice next to him that might be telling us what's going on there.
Yeah, we're just going to see if we can get a closer shot of that game, please, John. The Sylvaneth game on table 4 would be good to see. But yeah, and Dan, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of elite damage, but there's also a pretty elite amount of wounds. So any return damage coming in from Fight on Death is going to be a major issue for Mitchell, and Tristan does know that, so Tristan's in kind of the driving seat. Mitchell also is going to have the bottom of turn 2, so he's going to get a turn. So he's going to get a turn as well. But he does also get to apply pressure with these Tree Lords in the bottom right-hand corner, and you're only allowed to bring back 1 unit from your Loon Shrine at the end of each of your turns. So if he's able to clear a screen of Boingrots,
right, yeah.
Then when he does hit the big unit, sure, they potentially come back from the Loon Shrine, and it is a 4-up rerollable. All right, so it's failable as well. It's not automatic. Yeah. That does mean that he can put a lot of pressure into the midboard.
Yeah.
And he can say, look, you're losing units. I'm capping units, in the bottom left-hand corner, the top right-hand corner. This is on you.
Absolutely. Rob, can I talk about something that I've just noticed for probably about the 5th time this round that I think is amazing, is pairing. So both of the players walking through the hall, going to the bar, and then coming back with beers all the while having a chat. Yeah. Isn't that spectacular?
Nice.
Amazing. Just the thing is, they're on the clock. So did they take a timeout and go no, we don't actually need the coach. We're just going to go have a drink.
Whose time is it on?
Yeah, whose time is it on? Very generous. Or maybe they've gone, I'll get this round, your time on the next round.
Oh, perfect. That's cute. Yeah, great. I like that. This is table 4. Oh, table 5. we're waiting to see these Beasts of Chaos land. We talked about this already. It does look like...
We've got a fair bit of zoning, though. Look, we've got units here, units here, units here, and units here.
Now, I have to ask the table boss if this is right, but it looks like this bottom left-hand unit, bottom center unit, has been Ritual of Ruined.
Ooh, does that mean...
of that kind of, like, metal... box of 2 units of Varangard and also those knights. Now, it was pulled back. Now, that's so interesting. Well, what did that achieve? Because that's the unit of Chaos Knights.
Well, but here's the thing.
Why is he planning?
I have a feeling that the positioning of these units... Oh, great. Thank you, Scrivo. Just keep it there for me. I think the positioning of these units were in such a place that there was no way to engage one of them without pulling the others within 3. And
yeah, but the knights are useless.
I know, but I think what we're going to see is I reckon we'll see one unit go into there, one unit go into there. We'll see 2 units of Bulgors commit into 2 different units. And I think that maybe he's going to hope that if he does enough damage, he can pin them between and stop them from getting around.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Oh, Dan, I don't know, because I'm just trying to work out where he would drop his units. This is the kind of interesting part. Like, pulling those units back means that he clearly has an intent.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to drop some mortal wounds.
Rob, I got a question for you then. Do you think maybe he's blinked? Do you think maybe he saw this really tough thing and he couldn't figure out how to get through it, and so he's kind of just he's made a decision?
Was this table 5 where beasts have won the priority? Is that what I've just heard? Oh, yeah. Wow, okay.
So this was table 5.
Okay, so we're into turn 2 then. We're into turn 2. Both players have got turn 5, and the beasts have won the priority into turn 2.
Have they given it away?
And they've given it away, so then they're going to be able to, like, drop a unit down.
Rob,
yeah.
Is that both games this round? Beasts won the roll into turn 2 and got to give it away. Madness.
The battle plan for this round on table 5 and table 6, as you can see there, is the Jaws of Galette. And the reason that they've given the turn away down in battle round 2 is because it is Jaws of Galette, which means they're going to be able to delete an objective.
Yep.
Right? Because the Beast of Chaos players are going to be like, do you know what? I'm going to delete one of probably these 2 bottom left-hand objectives.
Oh, really?
Or maybe even the middle objective.
I think the middle, because the thing is, his army, he's Dark Walkers, he can be dancing around the board, and if he does that, he forces these 3 units, these 3 big hammers, to work to spread across the board to score the objectives and get the gold.
So you have to stand models on objectives, just for the mums and dads at home.
Oh, yes.
You have to stand models on objectives. Those are the circles that you can see there. Putting those units on the board is quite important. And you can delete them in this battle plan if you go second. Very interesting what he decides to do.
Yeah.
Very interesting what he decides to do. Hopefully our table boss can update us if he has deleted the center one. What would you do in the chat? What would you delete? That's pretty interesting. I really like that one. That's nice. Okay, so table 6, we have seen the center objective has been deleted, and we've seen Max versus Mitchell in a KO versus KO. I want you to know, I really desperately want to know what's happening in this match, but this is wildly complicated.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our table 5 match, which we were just talking about, all the objectives stayed on.
Oh, wow.
It gives the Beast of Chaos player options.
I guess so, yeah.
And then I guess what he's going to want to do is, don't forget this is safe startless units in here and in here. I think what he's probably going to do, yeah, it does mean that safe startless also can't run away from it as well, because I reckon what you'll see in a moment is you'll see these little units wiped out, and sure, some Varangard on this objective is scary, but if there's loads of other objectives,
yeah, that's true.
You could just be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And not near them, so that works a lot as well.
Absolutely, and a lot of the time in this game, one of the things is you have the options to do stuff, but you don't. Yeah, and people get caught up with the they gold bloom. Just because you could doesn't mean you should, which is a reference to Jurassic Park. And given how lit up the chat got last time, there was an old school reference. If you know what Jurassic Park is, put it in the chat.
Dan just clearly looking in the mirror tonight, be like, are all of my references ancient?
Am I the problem?
Oh my God!
I am.
It reminds me of the James Stewart film. Yeah, man becomes dinosaur. Yes. That's what we're seeing. Right, okay. Anyway, so table 5 and then table 6. Oh, can you just tell me either Germany or the Netherlands? Can we tell me which one, Germany or the Netherlands, which one is moving which boats? Because they don't have flags. Pardon me?
I think we've just had priority on... Oh, we just had priority on table 5.
But I didn't hear who won it.
Ooh, oh no. Oh.
But we did hear that. We heard BC Chaos won it.
Netherlands won.
Are you talking about table 6?
Table 6.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the Netherlands won the priority. They took the turn, and they're doing, as they call it, so we're on table 6 now, just for everyone at home, which is the double KO mirror. Both of them took a turn each. We think now the unit that we're seeing on the right-hand side is the Netherlands, so Mitchell's Barak Zilfin, Kharadron Overlords army. He is going to fire all of his guns. Perfect, yeah. So the Netherlands are the bottom force, and they are going to be able to shoot at the ironclad belonging to the German Max Baumann.
Insane. So, look, the thing about this is it's a tough call, because if you can shoot and take out the boats, whoever takes the boats off their opponent first is going to take this match, because they're going to rapidly reduce the pace that they can move. And at the moment, they're both relying on late-game abilities to move, score, and clear these objectives. If you can remove their boats, they're not going to be able to do any of that. So this is a big priority to take. The only issue, obviously, being that by taking it, you put yourself at risk of the double turn in return.
Yeah. This is probably gun. yeah, that's true. Little Gork is correct. Netherlands probably gun-fingered first in this game. Yeah, he might have even given him the old finger gun a wink as he won the priority roll.
The bang salute. There it is.
Yeah, I really think some KO players should get like those comedy pistols where you pull it and then it just pops out and it just says you're dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that should absolutely be what you get.
They should. And you know what would have happened last round is that a Cruel Boys player would have gotten to do that to a KO player.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been funny. Right, okay, so those are our two tables, 5 and 6. Table 7, as we know on table 7, Slaves to Darkness gave the turn to Nighthaunt, and Nighthaunt moved in the middle. Me and Dan already discussed this, but the Slaves to Darkness player using the Archeon knew that the Nighthaunt were going to get turn 2 priority, and so he's been fairly conservative, killing this unit of Hex Wraiths on the charge with Archeon and this other unit. Now we're waiting to see if the Nighthaunt army goes in, which it should do. It should full send into here. I don't know if it's got, I don't think Slaves to Darkness has got any ability for there to be, there you go, so you can see a very serious Colin, and then for Team Germany against Nico van den for the Netherlands. Okay, so the Slaves to Darkness scored 0 that round.
Rough turn 1. That's going to really put him on the button. He's got a lot of points to make back up, and it's not just that he needs to make up points, he needs to deny until he dies and stop his opponent getting some.
So you've got some really good units here. So, so just hold there, Scrivo. So this unit here is Splintered Fang. And this unit, is the unit on the line Splintered Fang?
No, I think these are the two big units of Splintered Fang.
No, so I want the unit next to Archeon, if you could please, our cameraman. John, who's wonderful, superstar, I just need to know that. It is a Splintered Fang. Ooh. Okay, so what Archeon's going to do is he's going to give that unit fight on death.
Yep.
Okay, now why it's really important for us to identify the Splintered Fang units on here, Archeon's got a lot of really good, powerful attacks, but they ignore Rend. So a lot of those attacks are going to just not go through, and they're going to get armor saved off. Also, with the command ability Discorporate, there's also a 5-up ward save. Yep. Now, what the Splintered Fang do is they have a ton of attacks. They're just like attack. That for some reason, we think is a typo, hit on 2s. Yeah? No, wound on 2s. Wound on 2s. Doesn't make any sense, right? But they also do mortal wounds on 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a poison, of course. That makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, of course. So that means what you're seeing from this unit here, and then its follow-up unit, is what Nico has set up. Is he said, sure, charge into Archeon and these guys. These guys, when you kill them, are going to die. Can I shout out Joe Pagano?
Yeah, sure.
I hope he's doing a great job. I hope he's doing well. He's a lovely person.
He's a great guy.
He just messaged me, thank you. And Gigaberry. And just everyone. Yeah. Everyone in the chat, thank you. Especially if you're on this Wargamer Patreon.
Lovely bloody gems.
Yeah. And then what we've seen is this unit in the... Oh, my gosh. Come on, Rob. When this unit does die, it's going to get to do all those attacks back. Yeah. And then in the follow-up turn, he's going to be able to bring in the next unit.
Do it on
and then push deeper into the enemy lines. Yeah. Then, because he's playing Ravagers, he gets to return half a unit, half a unit, and then Bosch. So... Yeah.
I think, and that's the thing as well. Like, the question was, why are they all so far back off the line? And it's because the Nighthorn have the ability, like big charges, big abilities. We don't need to get into all of them, but he could lose them very quickly. And what he really wants to do is have fight on death into the unit that goes, like, if he puts 2 units in, one has fight on death and one he would be able to choose to strike
it's
first.
Maximum efficiency is what he's going for.
Yeah.
But then the real question is whether a Colin's going to be like, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to send it, or he has to dance around it. Don't forget, the only objective currently active is the one in the middle. That's super important to talk about. So let me just tell you, it's a great day.
We've seen Colin play on stream twice, and both times he loved this Doom Lozenge. Yeah. So that was the style he played for in both games. He didn't really press crazy. He locked up the objectives. Now, seeing him kind of pushed back and trapped into this lower area, he could be in a massive amount. I know the Slaves of Darkness didn't score any objectives last turn, but kind of look at the potential board presence we have here. We're going to find out.
What I would do, if I was him, if I was Nighthorn, I'm just going to put another unit up on the line.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm going to put up the rest of my army, right, so that it can't charge. I'm going to maybe put another sacrificial line of guys here, and I'm going to be like, cool, you can hit me, score nothing, right? You can hit this line again, score nothing, yeah? Let's just play it out. Let me just get more points.
I think that's the thing, is at the moment, if any of these 4 objectives are the ones that become the Realmstone cache, he's going to be in a bit of trouble to get across and get them.
Oh, okay, no, never mind. He's gone for gaining momentum. He has said, which is to kill a unit and then hold more objectives in an opponent. Yep. And he has targeted that unit of Splintered Fang. That's what he's after. Yeah. So it's on it. And then he's cast a spell on them called Soul Cage, which gives them Fight Last.
Yeah.
Pretty cool spell, but that's pretty metal if you think about it. There's a unit of there's a unit of like poison chaos bros, and their souls have been caged. Yeah, that's pretty gangster.
And you know what? It's really hard to cage a snake. I don't know how you do that. I once had 2 birds that got eaten by a snake while I was at school. I came home and I had a pet snake because with the birds in its tummy, it couldn't get through the bars. Old Mr. Slithers.
Jesus Christ, Dan.
What, you don't want background on my life? Thought we were friends.
I thought we were pals. Okay, right. So look, we've got our Helon Castle on table 8. They're also playing Realmstone Cache, so only this objective is valuable. Daniel for Team Germany playing Illumineth Castle in Helon, and then Nick Frey representing Netherlands with his Jaws of Mork army. They have done literally nothing so far. Turn 1 has been taken at the moment by Lumineth. They've moved into the mid-board, as you've seen here. They've grabbed a bit of an objective. Looks like Jaws of Mork have also returned. They've said, I can put some dudes on some objectives too. Your choice. And then we'll see if their priority rollers come up.
The only thing I see that's a major difference here is this Gnashing Jaws. Right in the backfield there.
That would have moved in the Git's turn. Git's turn. Because it was here, and then it's going to move there. So he's going to be looking to do some damage. We'll just find out if there's a priority on table 8 yet. Doesn't look like it so far.
Oh, remember, Crushing Despair and Crippling Vertigo has kept those squigs pinned. They've been too sad to move.
This unit, too sad. Yeah, what does make a squig sad? I guess not enough things to eat.
Yeah, that they're so far away is probably it, and they don't understand that using their legs is the answer. Those spells are great because they're based off bravery. I'm pretty sure squig herds have bravery 3, meaning that it's pretty hard if those spells go off to get any use out of them.
So they were just trapped there. So as you can see, he's had to put a much more aggressive unit of Boingrot Bounders on the objective. It's 280 points. That's a lot of resource to stick in this trading game there in the center. No, stop calling it Birder. That is a callback.
That is a great callback from what, last round? The round before?
We've done a lot of rounds now.
So they all slip into one, and the fact that the lists have pretty much been identical, it's our Sisyphean task. We push the boulder up the hill, it rolls back down, and we recall games with the same lists.
To give some context from people at home, in just team events, just in team matches alone, these are our 36th matches.
Wow.
24th or 25th to 36th matches.
Wow, my gosh. my brain is liquid. It is smooth and grey.
Right, finally, here we go. Tzeentch tried to castle out more again, and now the Beasts of Chaos. Tzeentch have had both of their 2 turns now.
Yep.
Manuel Koch with his Tzeentch army. He's tried to push out. Don't forget, it was these... I know we've seen them all dropped. I really want to get our roaming cam on this as soon as we can. I want to get a little bit more sight on the board, please. I want to see... Just slow us down, John. Just slow us down. Great job.
Been pulled out.
He has. So that Lord of Change, I think. Can we just get an update on a Ritual of Ruin play, please?
Because my guess is this. It was a Ritual of Ruin, and it is a move. So because it's a move and Kairos has fly, he can be pulled over his egg. The yolk is outside the egg.
So top down, here you can see where Kairos was. It got pulled across here, which is decent. And then if we look at the... Oh, no. You were there, John. You were literally... It's okay. He's repositioning. I believe in you. Oh, perfect. The perfect.
The battery dies, which is probably good. That way we don't show any birder in high def.
Yeah, no, birder. An absolute birder about to happen. Thanks, John, for making it back. Really appreciate you. There you can see the Doom Ball and also the Bulgor. And that isn't just Lord of Change, Dan. This is Kairos Fate Weaver.
The Lord of Change.
That is the Lord of Change. So he's about to get birdered. Yeah. And then... Apparently, it was just enough of a roll to clear the horrors. Oh, there is some big news, though. There is a Burning Sigil of Tzeentch in the middle. That isn't going to do enough damage, though. That does the same thing that that happened with Glutos or Scullion, where it does some wounds and could potentially get yourself a cheeky little spawn, but that's not going to do... They're 4 wounds apiece.
Yep.
There's no way for it to do any more wounds. So unless any of those are wounded, which I highly doubt, that's not going to do the work you want.
Yep.
Looks like he was trying to screen with those endless spells, which is quite clever. But he's going to get these charges off, and then similarly he's got that. Thanks, John, I appreciate you. He's also got this other unit of 6, which I find quite interesting in where he's sending it. I think what he's going to do is he's going to push that into the top left-hand side, and the reason for that is he wants to clear... Oh no, he has put Raiders on as well. Don't forget that this battle plan is going to be these four parts of the board. So what he's going to do is keep scoring. He's got a unit here. This is Beast of Curse, by the way, being played by Manuel. And then he's going to do this unit and score this part. And so what he's doing is he's saying, look, I'm going to cause you some problems in this quarter. I'm going to remove all your units in the other parts of the board, and then I'm going to keep you pinned in here. This is a tough match. Very tough match for Tzeentch to unpack. I'd say Tzeentch struggle a lot into this. Oh, so table 8, we do have a priority role in this face-off between the Lumineth Overlords and the Gits. We were just talking about it, how the 2 different spells that have been cast on these 2 different units of Squig Herd have made it so that they can't move in the previous turn. And then... Oh, interesting. So Lumineth have won the role, and they've taken a timeout where they go and speak to their coaches, and they say, hey, coach, do you want to let me know if I should push? They do still actively have the spells on. So what they could do is give the turn away, and then those spells will be still on those units. That's pretty interesting. I love that. I love that a lot. That's very interesting. So, Dan, we just heard about a priority on table 8. And then we've just heard a timeout called. Charlie's pointed out really well. So, even though the Lumineth have won it, these 2 units still have the spells cast on them. So, they weren't able to move last time. You can make it so they can't move this time.
So, if he gives the turn away,
they're going to stay up. Stay applied onto them. And then he can be like, cool, you're going to stay there. And then the Lumineth is set up for a very aggressive turn. They can push into the middle. They can bring all of this shooting to bear where they can put it. They can put Teclis in. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, very true. Look, honestly, it's a great move, because what you're effectively saying if you do that is that this entire chunk of your army, about 2/3 of the damage output, are going to stay there. So if you push up with any of these elements, they'll be able to be dealt with. They'll be able to be taken out one at a time, and then you can deal with these units in back play. And again, the spells could go off again. Teclis can just auto-cast a spell with no chance to unbind it if he wants, and you might just commit that to a crippling Vertigo at that point in time just to keep that unit locked up.
Pretty exciting match. We'll come back to this match in a minute. On table 1, we got Jeffrey, the captain for Team Netherlands, running his Celeste Pretenders, and we're going to see what damage he would. It doesn't look like he ever got a charge off. Oh, mate, no. And he took the first turn into Toby's Gilder Summoner Tzeentch representing Team Germany. It does look like he was able to get a charge off on the top left-hand side, and it's resulted in him losing up to 4 of those models, which is pretty interesting.
Interesting to know how many depravity points he traded for, because there still seems to be a good amount of models in that unit.
Yeah, I'd love to know how much depravity he got. So he took the first turn for this big turn play. So the Seekers did 11 damage, so 11 depravity isn't put him in a bad place. It doesn't put him in a bad place. And but not quite enough. But it turns out Jeffrey was never going to go for the full send.
Yeah.
And instead what he's done is he's blocked up this part of the board. He's put all of his units here. And then he's gone for the full charge. And this is currently post the Tzeentch hero phase. That's what would have gotten rid of all of these Slickblade Seekers. This unit of 4 here, it would have been the spells from Kairos. Okay, and we're just hearing that the epitome that was here used the Lack-1 the Soul Seeker, which is another spell, to move down here and grab this objective. Very, very interesting. Okay, all right, you'd love to see it. Okay. Ooh, okay.
Bit of spice from around the event.
Spice, yeah.
I'm okay with this spice. I don't want the Australia versus Canada spice. Keep that away from me.
Because you don't want either team to win.
It'll just hurt me, okay? My heart bleeds.
So we did say this earlier. This is one of the ongoing stories. Super appreciate Ziggy letting us know about this. It's very great. One of the ongoing stories is obviously that Ronya hit
Night Queen.
Yeah, hit the big 11-0 at Worlds last year, hit the big 5-0 in singles, and has currently won 3 games out of 3 here at Worlds. She's only got 3 more games to win for the perfect 22 out of 22 games. But in order to do that, she has to beat the silent violence himself, Tom Guan from Team America. Massive news.
Huge.
Massive news.
Huge. What a rough.
Ooh.
What a roughie. What a roughie. Okay. I mean,
Tom Guan hates playing Warhammer.
To be a fly on the wall in at that game.
Tom Guan has never enjoyed playing Warhammer. He only likes playing a turn or 2 at most with his monster trucks, playing ogres. So can Ronya do it?
If he thinks he's going to get away with 2 turns of Warhammer against Ronya the Night Queen, he's in for the long haul. Settle in, Tom.
Livid.
Yeah, he's furious right now. It's odd. We haven't seen him walk up. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, okay. All right. So what we're seeing is Toby's first turn. This is a first turn for Toby, and I did miscall what I think we were going to see from Jeffrey. I thought Jeffrey was going to hit him with the full send. I think. And can we just double check and make sure that spawn did actually die from the Blitzbarb Archers?
If it didn't.
Because if he didn't die. He did die. Okay, so Glottos or Scullion could have charged. Can I find out if Glottos failed the charge? Because that's kind of the next question. Because I was interested to see whether or not he was planning on charging and just being like, look, you're stuck against me here, and I'm going to keep eating my dinner, which is going to be blue horrors. Now,
the question here, though, Rob, is going to be, is there anything here that can charge the Blitzbarbs first and engage them to draw out that Unleash Hell? So obviously the Blitzbarbs, there's 55 of them. When they are charged, well, there are a couple less now, I think a few have died. When they do get charged, they're going to unleash all of their shots against it, and if something goes in first, though, they get to tank all those hits.
Wow. Okay, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Okay, so we're just going to jump over to table 2 and see. Don't forget, Lex is finally in. So, lovely shot. Thanks, John. The Ideth Deepkin gave the first turn away to the Nighthaunt played by Lex. So Patrick gave the first turn away. Nighthaunt moved into middle, created their castle, melee castle, in the center of the board. Then the priority was won on turn 2 by the Netherlands and the Nighthaunt. They gave the turn away to the Ideth Deepkin, because the Ideth Deepkin hadn't gone over committal onto any of the objectives apart from on the right hand side. And now Lex is just clearing that center part of the board. He's going to eat that up, and then as you can see, he's brought some more units down here. It is Nighthaunt turn 2, so that's what we're seeing. So that's very exciting. We'll come back to see if he clears that up.
Which is the bottom of the turn.
Bottom of the turn. So there's a priority coming up on table. on table 2. We're going to jump over to table 3. Ladies and gentlemen, John, this is huge. After using the Ritual of Ruin, there are literally people all around the world that are going to be screaming at the TV. John just saw out the light. Oh, thank you. The Ritual of Ruin brought Kairos Fateweaver out of the Tzeentch Castle. Doomballs charged in, and then the Doomballs are going to get to attack into Kairos Fateweaver. This is legendary stuff.
Massive.
This is massive.
Now, let's remember, Kairos was just... there's a couple of arms in the way, but Kairos here had another pal, another big Lord of Change, and they were in a protective shell, a bubble. But here is the very small maneuver. But remember we spoke about they got pulled out of position earlier in turn 1. When they've repositioned, that bubble, that egg, formed up tighter around them, which is the only reason that Ritual of Ruin dragged Kairos over the top of his buddies, because the move was far enough to pull his flappy wings over the top and put him in the position to die. Really incredible.
Have we seen the swinging done? Wow. Oh. Okay, so Kairos died to just the mortal wounds from the attacks.
Byros,
yeah.
Byros.
We've got some more. We've got some more bird murder, and that is Kairos Fateweaver is now gone.
Which is especially rough because it means they're now... It looks like they might have been able to pile in and get in range of the second Lord of Change. That's huge.
And don't forget, also, this is a host duplicitous army, so once you're in combat with it, you cannot retreat.
I don't think those Bulgor want to go anywhere except they're going straight to the bank with that incredible amount of birder.
Also, at the top of the board, the Raiders. Okay, but if they're within 3 inches, no one's retreating out of that, basically. Yeah. And then, as you can see at the top, the Raiders shot off this unit, so that puts Beast of Chaos in this corner still. That puts Beast of Chaos in this corner still. Tzeentch locked into their own territory.
Yeah.
And then Morgan is just going to be trapped there, while Manuel is going to be able to just keep scoring points across the board. Really exciting match there. On table 3. Table 4, same. Now we get to see what Durthu actually did when he went in. And it looks like he's still alive. He's in the middle here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the slog off. Sorry, that's the slog off. It looks like Durthu is... Oh, my God, is he no more?
I don't see him. Oh, no, there he is. Is that him?
Oh, because of course he struck and fade.
He's danced back.
He's danced back. So, looks like he killed quite a few of the guys when he teleported in. Oh, wow. So this is Sylvaneth turn 3. So let's try and give you a recap of exactly what happened. So it's okay, I could do it. So Sylvaneth got the choice to go first, and they gave the turn to the Gits. The Gits then screened out on the left and the right, and they put a lot of their units in the middle. What happened then was pretty huge. Tree Lords teleported to this bottom left-hand corner, and then they teleported across. It's okay. They teleported across. And then started to take out some of these screening units, and then Durthu struck in, killed a screening unit, and then teleported back. They then won the priority because they'd gone the bottom of turn 2. They then moved over again. Durthu moved over again, struck into the big unit of Squigs, had a fight, teleported back. Squigs then just kept being like, I'm going to put 5 more bodies on that objective, I'm going to put 5 more bodies on this objective, and now priority into turn 3, looks like Durthu's going to do the same job, but he can no longer teleport. He can no longer teleport onto these trees, and the reason for that is they're in the way. All these Squigs are now in the way, and he won't be able to do a teleport.
Yeah. He's really pushed this army around. Rob, you just got handed a piece of paper.
Oh, our fan favourites, channel fan favourites, Team Serbia have just won a match. Not the whole round, but they won a match. So
Big
Natasha,
win.
one of our Serbian players, has won a game, and we're super happy about that.
Yeah,
we're super happy about that. That's her first win at the event.
The atomic-powered woman gets the first win of the event.
Let's go. Well done.
To Serbia.
Well
Good
done
stuff.
to Serbia. Good stuff. They're currently playing against Team Republic of Ireland in what we call the Battle of the Bottoms. They're trying to win. They're trying to anything but last.
Was Ireland's catch call.
Ireland's catch call. Now, they have won a round yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. No, none of that. So they did say that anything but last, and all of the teams have got a clarion call, but anything but last.
Yep.
And that's actually a pretty huge and pivotal change. Last year it was a bit of a joke and fun, but now the teams are like, no.
There's pride on the line.
I'm not coming last.
Yeah.
We're not coming last, and I absolutely love to see that. The level here, Dan, has significantly increased.
Absolutely, yeah.
Significantly increased.
I mean, Rob, maybe that's it. Maybe Game 6, we don't stream the top tables, we stream the bottom. We find the spoon. Who has the wood?
No one wants to be the battle at the bottom, Dan.
No.
Okay, so we've just looked at Table 4 and Table 5 we're going to go to now, and we can see what the Bulgur... It's Beast Turn 2 now, isn't it? It is Beast Turn 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, Dan, this is go time as we know it.
Goat time.
Or goat time,
It's goat time.
So what happened in the first turn, Dan?
The first turn, so we didn't really see that much, honestly, but that's because there weren't that many Beasts of Chaos units for the Slaves to Darkness to look at.
Yeah, they took the first turn and they moved up, and then they created a central point.
That's all they did. They just made this big old blob right through.
Of 2 units of 6 Varangard, a unit of 10 Knights.
2 units of 6 Varangard, a unit of 10 Knights. And then they dropped a few units around the edges of the board just to screen against the eventual arrival of the Beasts. Now, the Beasts used a Ritual of Ruin to pull this unit back into the corner of the board here and get them out of the way. And then, really, that was pretty much all she wrote for that moment. Then
no objectives were deleted in this round because this is Jaws of Galette where you can play to hold objectives.
Yeah, Beasts of Chaos won the priority, gave it away to Slaves of Darkness with very little on the board still, and said, on your bike, have a go, see what they can make.
And now this is the Beasts of Chaos actual deployment phase. So on turn 2, we're going to see the big swing. Germany have got all 10 points right now, 2 for battle tactic, 3 for the round. Now they're looking to go big. Yeah.
So
is Tom Guan winning? Tom Guan, yes. Oh, we've had a Ritual of Ruin. Oh, 1 mortal wound to the Chaos Sorcerer.
That's the only time we've streamed a game with a Ritual of Ruin that's done less than 5. So it looks like we've got right here, got units of Varangard here, and here, and it looks like the units of Knights along the edge. They're all staying very close so that they can support each other wherever the Boom Bulls come up. But it'd be interesting to see where they go in, because he's not going to be able to order his activations the way perfectly if he.
But he is set up on the double. That's the important part. So what he wants to do is drop absolutely wipe a unit, get the priority, absolutely wipe a unit, and then at that point just be like, do you know what, bro? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if he kills both units of Varangards, he's got to deal with the Knights. And then he's also then taken out a huge portion of the mobility in the army as well. Yep. So if he goes in here, takes out that, then he moves over into this unit and takes out that. Then these Knights have got to run around all the objectives trying to get them. Not sure they're going to have the time or the energy to do that.
Potentially if he brings Ungor Raiders in, so he's got lots of the little guys, if he brings them in here and here, he can create those screens, meaning that anything that wants to come out of this bottle has to come around there.
I also love the idea that they just might not have the energy. Yeah. Like they can see 2 units of Varangard died, and then the Knight's oof. It's a lot of effort, that.
It's like, mate, if they took out them, what are our chances?
What are our chances? Okay, so we'll come back to this game and wait and see they've deployed. I just want to see what's happening in this KO match. It does look like the Netherlands Kharadron Overlords frigate was able to shoot the enemy ironclad belonging to Team Germany.
Wow. That's big. That's huge. Losing boats for KO, that's the crippler. That really takes the options
because
down.
They were able to bring over a bridged unit, and I want to double check.
That's the bridge right there.
I think this unit of Thunderers, though, belonged to the German. So this belonged to Max.
Yes.
Yeah? Keep calling it the German. I'm sorry. Yeah. Germany's Max, right? And then so that means he's got 15 Thunderers here. 15 Thunderers here about to unload into all of this here. So that's a lot of output.
However, they are boatless at this point in time. That's a big loss for them.
It's not really... It is, Dan. You're absolutely right because it reduces their mobility. But the key point is that there's so much raw output in a KO army that it's pretty much one and done. They either unload and just delete everything, which is great. Like Matt Goldsborough told me during lunch, he's like, Rob, I figured out how to do twists and turns. I was like, how, Matt? How do you do twists and turns? He's like, just kill everything in the enemy army.
Great, easy.
Doesn't matter what turns on then.
Logical.
Then I'm in a good. Then I'm in a great spot. And so.
I mean, look, when we look at it here, you can see there's a gun hauler just here in the top corner. We've got these units lining up for the gun line there. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage to these units that are deployed out of the boat and are exposed. So it'll be for a big priority after this to find out who gets to commit. A double turn here would be absolutely devastating for Mitchell, for the Dutch, and it'd be interesting to see.
So table 2, we're going to go over to there for a moment, and we've heard the Nighthaunt have won the priority in
that's exactly
turn 3.
what they wanted as well.
Yeah, so now don't forget, it is turn 3, so this does mean all the Idoneth Deepkin are going to be getting always strikes first. So even when they charge in, the enemy's going to get to strike. So he might not engage and just let the opponent hit him. He might just build a screen.
Yeah.
Say, you know what, you're only going to get 1 turn of always strikes first. Some threats on the board. Achillean King here.
Yep.
These bricks here of Reavers and Thralls, and then the Eels. So he hasn't, thank you. So he hasn't lost a lot. So it is some Reavers on the left-hand side and Reavers on the right-hand side. So he probably is very comfortable going into the Reavers, although actually charging 20 Reavers is no joke.
There's going to be a lot of shooting.
You can use a command ability called Unleash Hell when a enemy unit charges at you and you have some missile attacks, and they have 2 attacks each, and there's 20 of them, so there's 40 attacks. You get -1 to hit when you do an Unleash Hell, but the Reavers have +1 to hit on their War Scroll, so it cancels each other out, so you still end up with a lot of shots. And don't forget, the way to beat Nighthaunt is to lot of attacks.
Yeah. Now, look, I think the thing to remember here is when we go back to the top down, the Nighthaunt are starting to lose pieces. There's a lot of them for not much in trade from this Deepkin army. They started along here. They really haven't actually been able to push or aggress very far up the board because they have been playing very defensively, obviously scared of this 3rd turn high tide. They haven't really been able to lock in that Doom lozenge and get it unlocked. It now looks, if we get to high tide, that they're not going to be able to do too much if they can block them out. I think that's the best move. Screen, say, I'm going to sack these units, let you take them off the board, and not get the most out of your turn 3, and then hope for the priority going into turn 4.
It's genuinely very interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out everyone who's watching at home. I did do a tweet earlier, Dan. I was like, big shout out to everyone who's watching from all the different places around the world. I've had some great pictures. So if you do have any pictures of you, of where you're watching the stream, I'd love to know. This is the very beginnings of tabletop sports stuff, and I'd love seeing some pictures and stuff being posted out if that's cool with everyone at home. I know in Sweden there's some people watching it on the big screen TV. I'd love to see that as well. I know some people are watching it at home, so some pictures out there would be really great. Anyway, so really interesting match. Excited to see what Nighthaunt do. I think we just heard about a new priority into table 3, so I'm just going to triple check that. What's happened here?
So Tzeentch versus Beasts.
They both rolled a 6 for priority. That means Tzeentch has won the turn there. So Manuel, with his Beast of Chaos, has already taken out Kairos. And so then now we're going to put some summoning on the board.
They desperately needed that turn. Let's remember, the way this game, it actually started quite subtle, quite small. We had this egg here with a Lord of Change and Kairos in it. It didn't really do much. It shuffled slightly up the board, got pulled out of position a little bit, but reformed. And that's really been all they've done. And meanwhile, the Beasts of Chaos have been placing units all over, scoring objectives and taking all the gold that they could. Then we saw the big play from Beasts of Chaos, a big old push where they pulled Kairos out of the safety of his nest, and then they smashed him with a bunch of Bulgors. Now those Bulgors are trapped in combat against against the horrors and against this Lord of Change, which is exactly where they want to be, though they probably won't be there at the end of this turn. That's okay, though, because he still has another unit of Bulgors up his sleeve. However, this priority going to Tzeentch means they are able to get a bit of summoning across the board and get the gold back. Now, we are hearing from the table that this is possibly one of the fastest Tzeentch players that we have ever seen. They are flying through at breakneck speed.
Yeah, Cabbage is saying on the our table boss is saying that it's one of the, and Charlie's table boss quite a few games. Obviously, he run tournaments over in the UK as well, and also plays at events. And he says it's one of the fastest players he's ever seen. And that's a real compliment because he's seen a lot of high-end players.
And Tzeentch players typically are quite granular, quite niche, quite measured, and very not slow players. But their play style doesn't usually have the kind of pace where you would go blistering.
So we're just hearing So Mike says that Morgan's nickname is the nuclear reactor because he's full of energy. Love that.
Yeah, total fusion. Yeah,
total fusion. Okay, so that's our game on table 3. Table 4. This is still our Sylvaneth match, as you can see. Okay, perfect. So we've seen one of our Tree Lords teleport back. Durthu now is threatening again the charge into these Gits, trying to push him in. Don't forget we're playing table quarters, so it's all about holding. He's got a unit up here. He's got no units, I think, in this bottom left-hand corner here for holding the objective. So Mitchell's been able to do a good job from what is a very defensive position.
Well, Rob, think about the flow of this game. We started with Gits in their turn 1. Didn't... Oh, yep, good. There we go.
The Lion.
The Beast.
That's
the
it.
Absolute beast.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we look at the top down on this one, we can see Gits started very, very conservative. They moved a couple of units of Boing Rots up. They pushed up here, but the majority of their units were kept in reserve, kept it safe. They only played very slightly onto the board, just enough to catch the objectives and said, come in here and have a go. Then the Sylvaneth, again, kept their bunker, sent a couple of Tree Lords down this way, and Durthu jumped out, attacked, and then jumped all the way back to safety. Now, he's done that twice. And when we look at the board state, Sylvaneth have actually been able to kind of wrap and envelop their way all the way around these Gits and put that pressure on, really trapping the Gits. And if we look, those guerrilla tactics seem to be working. The Gits are spread across the board in a lot of different positions, a lot of different places, but there's been no place they've been able to bring their power to bear in one location. The problem is that they have an incredible amount of output in those Boing Rot bounders, so they don't necessarily need to be, but I think we're starting to see the guerrilla tactics of the Sylvaneth pull back what would have been a really strong match for the Jaws of Mor.
Yeah, so we had some great questions as well. Obviously, there are a load of matches happening around the room. Obviously, the top match between the fantastic Team Denmark against Team France. Team France are going to be focusing on this. Both of those two teams are currently in the lead. They are battling it out. Then it's the USA versus Sweden. USA looking to get a good win out of that. Sweden doing the same, which is very, very interesting. Then, as being asked in the chat, there are some very good, exciting other matches. But I know for a fact Canada are playing against Australia. Dan, which team do you want to win?
Australia, buggier. Australia, there. Are you happy now? Are you happy? I hope Australia beats Canada. They're going to cancel my citizenship. I'm not going to get to live in the country. I'm never going to be there again. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
Can I just get a... I've just asked Dan who he wants to win, Canada or Australia. He has said Australia.
I've said Australia.
But I don't know if you want to I don't know if you want to let Canada know that he's no longer rooting for them.
Don't tell them that. They've got to watch the stream back if they want to know. You just...
Yeah, okay. It's going to be an interesting round, but Dan hopes Canada loses. Yeah, so
I said I hope Australia win. I didn't wish loss on Canada. How dare you put words in my mouth? No,
so no citizenship for you.
This is devastating.
No citizenship for you.
Don't we have games to cover or something like that?
Okay, sorry, mate. Okay, right. So we're jumping over to table 5 right now, and you can see the Slaves to Darkness have dropped on the board. Thank you very much, John. And then Slaves to Darkness are in the middle of the board, and then over on the left-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you have seen the Bulgur actually arrive, and they have gone where I predicted they would go. This is not to toot my own horn, but that's for the chat to do. Tell me I'm great, please. Some viewing picks. Thanks, Pathorn. So we've got the Bulgur dropped here. It looks like they're going to try and do exactly what I said. Take out this unit of Varangard. Take out the next unit of Varangard. We will see if they decide to do that. Pretty interesting. There you can see them being deployed. This is still going to take some time, so we'll come back to this game in a minute. Table 6. This is our Kharadron Overlords shooting out Kharadron Overlords. Our unit of Thunderers at the top have shot into the unit of Thunderers at the bottom, and they've killed all of them but 2. But don't worry, we've got a 4-up rally, so it's all about the priority roll here. And then next, you're both doing a prodigious job. Why does everyone keep saying I say the word prodigious a lot? Do I?
I haven't noticed, but if you do, I like it. Use it. It's a better word than like good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Rob, we're getting an update. There will be no rally. The unit's dead. These down here are heroes.
Oh my
Look,
God.
Here we go to the Scrivcam. Scrivcam shows us.
The chemist. There's nothing better than a chemist and an Archanaut with, a chemist and Admiral with no one to buff.
And Scrivo, if you just go back to that shot for me for 2 seconds, what we can see here is that after all that dead, There's definitely a grudge.
Yeah, we got a grudge.
We've got a grudge. Put it in the book.
Shout out to
Put
Adam.
it in the book.
Shout out to Adam in the chat. Someone please donate Adam a gift subscription. Co-host from last year for Worlds, wasn't able to make it this year because of his busy work schedule. Lovely. Would love to have seen him. But Dan's doing wonderful. So
probably not as good as Adam, but I will try.
Great.
I don't think I'm as attractive though. Like that's the hard thing. You cut here and you don't have a model.
Let's move on. So thank you. So then these Thunderers are also going to shoot into the Ironclad. Now that Ironclad doesn't have more Thunderers in, and instead it has a prodigious amount of one Ironclad. Not sure that's the right word.
It's got an Ironclad in it. It's Ironclad Inception.
Yeah.
They loaded a boat inside of a boat. It's a turducken of KO proportions.
Yeah, so we've got one boat there, one Ironclad on the far right-hand side. Oh, so the Thunderers have shot into the Ironclad. The Ironclad isn't down. That's pretty interesting. Then the gun hauler over there, that's got to shoot into the middle. You did lose all the Thunderers as well. You did. And then, so pretty exciting to see. So all the Thunderers are done. They've lost the enemy Thunderers, which is pretty interesting. Right, okay, so that's table 5. We'll see what happens at the end of this shooting phase. Dan, did you get handed a bit of paper?
I just got handed a bit of paper.
Oh, yeah, what was it?
I'm going to super quickly read out a bit of paper here. So in Denmark v France, it's super close. And a quote that I have here from the Denmark coach, I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
Strong words. But that does mean it could be anyone's game. Now, in USA versus Sweden, our other really, really tight match. Again, these are the 2 top matches, the top 4 that are almost certainly going to be playing off in the next round for the winning position. We have Bill Souza take a win, so the USA are up 1-0 on the board, but all of the other matches still in play.
I love the Swedes and the Swedish team, but I reckon USA are going to get a big win from that table. I feel it. Like I love every Swedes guy I've ever met. I loved. Like they're a great community. I've been over there loads of times. I love the Malarkey boys, Asylum Wargaming, everyone Fantasia. Like name a place. They're all great. Yeah, and it's a wicked community. But I don't know. Team America I think have got their number today.
Yeah, they seem.
I think Sweden were a little bit rocked yesterday by their loss.
Yeah. Team America are coming here crazy. So in Australia versus Canada, the update is that it is quite close, really close game to play. We've heard that it looks like Australia is going to get a big win, but in the matchup between the Master Dave Kerr and Dayton, friend of the show from Party at the All Points and the Tough Crowd crew, it looks like Dave Kerr's going to go down, which Dayton taking the win there. Potentially, nothing confirmed yet. I did give Dayton a little artifact of Australian heritage to help him out just in case, because it didn't seem fair to send him up against such a powerhouse unsupported. And in Switzerland v Norway, we have 2 games done, 1 apiece.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So over on table 8, we've had a little bit of drama apparently. So we're just waiting to see. We've had Luminous turn 2. They took the double, so they did put the spells back onto the Squigs. And they did gain momentum on the Squig boss. But the Hoppers redeployed over and then made him invisible so he couldn't be shot.
Amazing. What a play.
Great play. What a great play. So that means they've dropped a battle tactic.
Yep.
But the spells that we're talking about, just to be clear for everyone at home, this means you've got Crippling Vertigo and the Sadness of the Sads. That's not its name. But
that is actually, I'm pretty sure it's on the War Scroll.
Doomed Sadness. No.
Aura of Despair?
No. Despair of Sadness.
Darkness and Despair.
Darkness of the Soul.
Darkness of the Soul. Yeah, just all of the it's like they're the light elves, so why are all their spells about the dark?
Yeah,
come on, pick a lane, Techless, you big-hatted nonce.
Over on the left, over on the right, we have those Squigs, and they probably won't be able to move or attack this turn, which is good because you're just holding this middle objective with the Sentinels behind it. But dropping a battle tactic is going to be pretty rough. We'll get to see what they do decide to do in a moment. Pretty good. Okay, so I just want to go through all the games and make sure I'm keeping up with exactly what's happening. I want to go back to table 7 because I've been jumping around quite a bit. That Nighthaunt army, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Nighthorn, Colin is what I would consider to be a methodical player. Yeah, and that methodology is slow.
And look, we've got commitment here. We've got commitment up the top. We've got commitment along the side, and we've got it look like Reichnor in the side there. But that does seem to be it's a little bit. There's a bingo card there.
Nighthorn bingo, baby.
Nighthorn bingo. There we go. It does seem that
bingo.
They're moving in there.
Okay, so okay. So what happens is if the Nighthorn... just to let you know what a Nighthorn bingo is. As you roll your charges, you get to apply a debuff. Yeah, if you roll multiple charges, you get to apply multiple debuffs to a unit that you've charged. The Nighthorn bingo game apparently is if you roll enough... if you roll all of the different debuffs, then the person who you've rolled that against gets to win a dice.
Yeah, which seems like it's a nice way of saying, like, I've done a truly awful thing to you.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Because I think the issue that issue that a lot of people have with that is they are benefits that you gain for rolling high, which for most people, rolling high on a charge is already benefit enough. So saying like, oh, you rolled a big charge? How'd you like to have a random attack before we start? It seems like a little bit much.
Absolutely. So what we had Archeon holding this objective with a unit of Splintered Fang, which the Nighthorn player took in the second turn, and as you can see, and this is the turn we're in now, and has flooded this objective. The Slaves to Darkness army will still get to have a turn next.
Yep.
And I think, if I'm right in measuring that, what's happened is this unit that's charged on the left-hand side has just brought in that unit of Splintered Fang, and it's just done it in a way that it's just brought a few models in, so they get a few attacks, but it won't get all of the attacks. And the idea, I'm pretty certain, is to make sure that they pin a unit in so he can't hit that full frontage with all those attacks and start wiping some units out.
Now, I'd really like to know from this table if our table boss is there, could get a quick eye on the clock on what we have remaining for. We have an hour and a half left in the round, but it does seem that the Nighthorn player might have used a little bit more and might be starting to feel the pinch
100%.
compared to Nico.
He copped out in singles.
He did, and let's remember, in the final round of singles, I believe, only got to turn 2.
That's correct. Correct.
So we're about to get the camera on the clock. And wow, he's got 30 minutes left.
Yeah, of an hour and a half.
He has he's used an hour in 2 turns, meaning that he's going to have to push it really hard. Otherwise, if he clocks out, the only thing he can do for the rest of the game is roll saves.
Saves and wards, but only mandatory wards, not optional wards. So you can't give himself... Oh, wow. Okay, so the tactic that also Colin had chosen for Team Germany was gaining momentum. That requires you to kill a enemy unit and also hold more objectives.
Yeah.
There's only 1 on the board, but it looks like there's only 2 snakes left. We don't know if he's killed them all. We will find that out in a moment.
And for sure, there'd be a command point just to keep them there in the battle shock phase.
Of course. Yeah. Of course there will. Of course there will. But it's whether or not he has the... whether or not there's any more attacks to go in.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll see. All right, so just jump back. Table 1. So now Tzeentch have decided to push out. You've seen that Cockatrice move out. So this is the first turn for Toby. And wow, have we started to see a lot of models go down. Look at that. We've lost a huge portion of these Blitzbarb Archers. Glutos is holding this objective. This other unit we had here is gone. And this is a priority roll into turn 2. This is looking particularly bad now.
Yeah, they're on the wire.
Slaanesh. Slaanesh, don't forget, took the first turn. They have got a lot of their resources in this bottom right-hand corner, as you can see here. Glutos is a huge portion of that as well. There are quite a few Blitzbarbs, actually. They're in an okay position.
They are, but remember that...
Oh, I see a Germany dice of a 6. Ooh, Germany dice of a 6. In fact, Dan, I've started doing a new thing.
Yeah?
Whenever I roll priority against my opponent, I always tell them, if I roll a 6, you keep the dice.
Okay, yeah.
It's quite nice.
See, for me, when I roll priority, I just don't look at my dice, I look at my opponent, because I feel like if I look at them and just lock in eye contact there, I win more often.
Okay.
It's a mental game.
Okay, so Toby has won the priority. Fans of Toby out there, I know there are Toby fans, so give us a shout in the chat. Toby has won the priority against Jeffrey. Jeffrey also has some fans. One sat right here. Jeffrey has won the priority. Toby has taken the turn, but Jeffrey is in there in the mix. This is looking pretty rough. If we can get kind of a roaming shot of that game, John, but John's off.
But look, the thing as well is that move, doing the damage from the sigil, summoning the Chaos Spawn into the back of the Bliss Barbs, just totally crippled the output of this army turn 1. That big round of shooting that should have been taking off a lot of the models was nowhere. It was pointed at a spawn. Really, really tough for them.
Interesting. I'm trying to look at where he's engaged. Obviously, he's brought his big Lord of Change here into this fight. And is ready to start doing some more damage. I doubt he'll take Glutos off at the minute, but I think Jeffrey will be pretty upset he didn't get more depravity early on in the game, to be honest.
If he didn't fill up the coffers in turn 1, that was what we said. If he filled it up in turn 1, he was going to be stoked because he'd be resisting a bunch of mortal wounds, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the mortal wounds defense.
And like Slaanesh is an army. Slaanesh is an army that needs that juice to ramp up. Yeah. It really does. Okay, really interesting match. Table 2, as we said, Nighthorn have gone in. Yeah. So Nighthorn won the priority into turn 3. They rotated after the Idoneth Deepkin gave them the turn. Nighthorn took the midboard strongly. Lex doing a really good job. Patrick moved conservatively into the midboard. Then going into 2 and 3, Nighthorn aggressed into the middle. Now they've got very aggressive to the bottom right-hand side of the board. They're committing units all over. There are still loads of units. There's a unit of Reavers. Oh, hold on. Not that. There's a unit of Reavers on the right-hand side here. Unit of Reavers here. He has elected to go into the Eidolon, so that's that unit in the center. So the Eidolon of Mathlan looks like it might be about picked up. There is a unit there is a unit of Eels as well, but if I'm not mistaken,
beautiful looking army. That's gorgeous.
Really nice. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't see the Achillean King on the board, who was to the right of that Gloomtide shipwreck.
Yeah, that's him there. He's not on it. He's off the board.
Oh, he's off the board. He's dead.
He is.
So he's taken out the Slap King as well. Great work by Lex.
Yeah.
That's a key piece he wants to get out. The Reavers are also going to be another problem piece as well, because they do a lot of shots and the Eels do a lot of attacks. Yeah. And as I've said before, one of your best attacks against ghosts is weight of dice. Yeah. That's why if you've ever watched the Ghostbusters, I'm going for an older reference than you, Dan. I'm going past
Lay it
that.
On me. Are you going to hit
it back?
So what you're saying
is you need multiple different streams.
You need to cross the streams if you're going to do it.
Exactly.
But okay, so if that's what's happening, what character on this board is the Statue of Liberty?
Each ghost.
Every ghost is individually the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, great.
Great shot, John. Go back, John. That was great. Hold still, awesome. Baby. You were doing great.
I think the thing is, though, Rob, when we look at this table, look here. We've got this big line of the huge kind of encroaching wave, the tidal wave, some might say, of the Idoneth Deepkin. However, what they're not doing is putting models on these two objectives. They're still very much under the ghost control. And you still need to get the gold. It doesn't matter that you tear some heads off some ghosts.
They have haunted those objectives.
It's just like a fart in an elevator. They just haven't gone away.
They have haunted. So we're going to go through the rest of these games in a moment. I just want to let everyone know, obviously there are ongoing matches. We don't know the results of these 24 teams of 8 playing until towards the end of the round, where we get all those results handed in. They do play individual matches, obviously, but they normally hand them into them coaches, and we have to wait until those coaches hand them in for us to get involved. So we will, if we hear about some individual games, we'll discuss them, but we have to wait until find out.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So we haven't heard anything apart from that the USA have picked up one game against Sweden. The match at the moment has to be the game between the Danish, so the Denmark, and also the game against France. So they're playing against each other right now.
Yep.
They're playing against each other.
Body language at that table looks very, very neutral, very even. Everyone's still focused. I won't lie. Looking over at the Sweden v USA, obviously this means absolutely nothing, but the body language of the Americans looks confident.
Yeah, it does look very confident.
They look very confident.
Okay, we're going to go through our 8 matches now that we're playing between Germany and the Netherlands, where the Dutch live. But before we do that, just going to look at what these win rates are like. Dan, this is our table 1.
Amazing.
We have Disciples of Tzeentch and the Heat Knights International. Now, Heat Knights apparently do really well into Presence of Idols, our battle plan.
Yeah.
And then Idoneth Deepkin going into Nighthorn. 38% win rate there.
Yeah.
Then Battle Lines drawn, Beast of Chaos and Gloomspike gets to okay.
Yep.
Same with Disciples of Tzeentch. And then nothing else really overly stands out apart from Realmstone Cache. Lumineth Realm Lords seem to be quite good at that.
Yeah, they do, which really that does make sense. I mean, the idols, it's interesting when we see both Disciples of Tzeentch and Hedon Knights of Slaanesh playing really well into that. Both are great at projecting power with particular units. Slaanesh using those pace units to get the kills and those ranged Blissbarb archers. Disciples of Tzeentch using magic. But the real interesting one is Deepkin and Nighthaunt playing on In the Presence of Idols. Both armies not particularly good at that battle plan, which does make sense. Really does. I would say that Deepkin trade with a lot of their hammer units not as efficiently as others, and Nighthaunt usually win by the weight. So being able to pick exactly which unit gets the kill is very hard, which is where you get the gold. But really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how they play out.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. Okay, so table 2, sorry, we're at table 3, our BC Chaos match. We have lost most of our Bulgor in the bottom right-hand side. Ronya. Wait, did Ronya win? Did you win? Oh my God. Ronya here. There's Ronya. If everyone wants to wave Ronya.
Obviously, one of the stories
Ronya,
that we've
come
been
on,
following.
Ronya. Give us a wave. Give everyone at home a wave. Give a wave. Ronya is currently 20-0 at Worlds. How's that feeling?
20-0.
Feels kind of nice, but now 20 is a good number to end on, right?
Feels kind of nice.
You know what's a good number to end on?
20's a good number
22.
to end on. 22.
22-0.
20-0.
Rob's getting a tattoo.
Yeah, you get 22 right on my ass. Ronya. Okay, that's going to be gutting for Tom Guan because he would have had to pay more than... Oh, no. They still finished game pretty quick.
They finished in an hour and 45. Yeah. Great. Legendary.
Ronya currently 20-0. 22 will do, 24 no more. Yeah, so that's 11 games at the last 22 Worlds.
And Ronya, last game against Australia, because she got doubled by KO and got a 20-0 win. She just told us she got a 19-1.
I mean, that's a yikes for Team USA.
Big yikes for Team USA. I think maybe the body language of confidence might be the body language of ignorance.
I just put anyone into her. I just be like, you.
No,
get 4 points.
Yeah, just
beg
please,
4 points.
Anything but a 20-0.
Just get 4 points.
All right, let's talk about this. The Netherlands, where the Dutch live, versus Germany.
To quote me, Bobbin quoted me, it sucks to suck, Tom Guan. It sucks to suck, Tom Guan. Right, okay. Last table 8, 20-0, table 7 also was pretty big. Whoa! We're just hearing that 2 tables from France against Denmark have lost pretty big. That's the first update that we've heard about France, which is pretty massive. And we know that the Team USA have won 1 and lost 1. Ronya's still on the 20-0, which is pretty good. So 2 more games to go. Pretty exciting stuff. Oh my God. We've got England playing behind us against Team Czech Republic, but they took a big loss in round 2.
Rob, do you want to talk? Can we talk for 2 seconds about Team Serbia, about Natasha's win? I'm looking over here to the right. She's fully packed up.
Yeah, she's packed up, ready to
Game's
go.
over, fully packed up.
She's not doing day 2.
She smashed.
Going out on a high.
She crushed it. She absolutely demolished it.
Right, okay, let's fly through these games because there's still loads happening, loads of juice in these games. Table 4, we've got Mitchell with his Oakenbrow against Tristan with his Jaws of Mork.
Yep.
And look at all the squigs that are missing now from the middle of the board. What we've had is we've had the Gits trying to move out from their protective castle and continuously keep grabbing different parts of the board and objectives. And then we've seen the Silver teleport unit over, kill a unit, teleport back. Do the same, teleport back. And they've kept doing that time and time again. Yeah. And now they've been able to reduce how many units of squigs we've got. But we have moved a unit of Boingrots up to here, start to threaten how many models are in this pit of the territory as well. There's this Tree Lord at the bottom, protecting this piece of the board, and it looks like Sylvaneth have won the turn into turn 4, and they're going to be pushing again into these lines. I feel pretty rough right now for Tristan. I feel like he hasn't got any priors go his way this turn. But this game. But Mitchell's done a solid job.
I mean, look at this score at the moment. When we do have a look at it, it's been a big turn. Now, I'm guessing we're still going to be updated for that last turn for Tristan, for the Jaws of Mork. But so a big turn could make a bit of a difference there. However, look, at the moment, 11-9, that's a tight turn. But they're just just going to, I think, pull away a little bit in this because with running out of pieces to put stuff on the board, they're just not going to do as good. They're not going to be able to get the gold as easy. And Sylvaneth, if there's one thing they do well, it is dance across the board. They dance like nobody's watching, and they stab like Durthu has nothing better to do but put a sword inside of any git that he gets a shot at.
Agreed. Okay. Right, so we are now going to go over to table number 5, give you a catch-up of this match.
Oh,
okay, all right.
There's a lot missing.
Okay, there's a lot missing. This has not gone well.
We need some big recap energy on this one.
We need some big recap energy. Okay, we've got Beast of Chaos being played by the Team Netherlands against Patrick Liu with his German Knights of the Empty Throne. What did happen? Germany took the turn. They moved into the middle. They put 6 Vanguard next to 6 Vanguard and 10 Knights. Those 10 Knights that were here in the first turn for Beast of Chaos got dragged back. And then Beast of Chaos won the priority. They gave the turn away. Then Vanguard moved here. They moved here, and they tried to screen out on the board. They tried to screen the board edge with these units of Corvus Cabal.
Yeah.
Then Beast of Chaos have now just dropped. We've just finished that turn.
Yep.
6 Bulgor went into these 6 Vanguard. We also see 6 more Bulgor over here. We see the Corvus Cabal missing on the right. We see the Corvus Cabal missing on the left. We see these units of Raiders at the bottom, and we see our
unit of Raiders at the top here, potentially.
Another unit here, and also I think our Doom Ball here. We've seen our Doom Ball here, but it's our unit of 6 Bulgor charging in is the big story. They only killed 3 Vanguard, then 3 Vanguard.
They only killed 2 Vanguard.
2 Vanguard. Then there's 2 Vanguard. Fought back, fought twice, killed all 6 Bulgor.
Massive.
That's massive. We were hoping to get a kill and then move into the next unit, and instead they lost the trade on their turn. Now we're going into the priority. Again, the Beast of Chaos were hoping to get that off. The priority has happened, and then Beast of Chaos have not won the priority.
Wow.
That is a massive yikes. That's going really badly for them.
Yeah.
And that is going to snowball from this point downhill. He made the right trades. He made the right moves.
Yeah.
But ultimately, probably, now this is kind of interesting. Other army lists have had units of 9, where when they do commit, they commit big.
Yeah.
6s are easier to fit in gaps when you want to deploy, and they take out smaller units.
Yep.
9 maybe seems like overkill, but in this situation, we've seen a couple of lists have 6s, not 9s. But yikes, going in and losing the unit that you charge with is a major issue.
Yeah. In the Grace Under Pressure, at least, we see that this unit of Bulgor over here are far enough away from... Yeah, thank you, Scrivo. Great shot. This unit of Bulgor here are far enough away from the Vanguard that maybe they're a little bit far for a big charge, but then again, with a decent move, a decent charge roll, and I believe Vanguard have run and charge as well, then realistically, they most likely they could get in with a decent charge. But at least these Bulgor are potentially might be around.
So he's already traded and then traded down.
Yeah.
And now he's going to trade again and trade down again.
Yeah.
This is just going to go out of his control now. I feel really bad, Yavar, but Patrick Liu is just rolling them hot dice. That's what he built his army to do.
Absolutely.
Great job. Table number 6. And we can get on to our Kharadron Overlords versus Kharadron Overlords battle. And Max from Team Germany, it seems, has been able to win the priority in turn 3. Let's just talk about what happened in turn 1. They danced around each other in our KO mirror. Mitchell eventually going over with his Ironclad full of Thunderers and shooting out the Ironclad belonging to Team Germany. Team Germany and Max then used his Thunderers, shot into the other Thunderers, bridged over his Thunderers, obviously in the right sequence, shot and killed the Ironclad. Then he's won the priority roll. Oh, okay, so then he gave the turn away, burnt the objective with this cross here, which does mean we might have an Ironclad still on the board. No, we don't.
Oh, yeah, it's here.
Thank you, Max.
It's here. Ironclad's here.
Ironclad is there. Yes, it looks like a bit of terrain. Oh, that's a frigate.
That's a frigate. Okay, so what it sounds like is he's cut out these two objectives because he knew that he didn't have the pace still to take them. He really needed to remove them from the board. Otherwise, they were just going to be points that his opponent would pick up. It looks like he's got a line here, and he's got this unit there, and he still has units in play that can fight for that top right-hand objective, which is why he's keeping it there. If he'd removed any other objective, he'd be out of it, but by leaving that objective there, he would have given his opponent a chance to come back at him. Really, really clever play. Removing objectives is a key part of this battle plan, of Jaws of Galette, and it was a really tight, really good choice.
I don't know if I wouldn't just take the turn and just yeet all my boys in as well, but he's not decided to do that, so we'll see how that does pan out for him,
Getting
right?
the gold.
He knows the board state much better than I do. So table 7, this is still seeing now, have we, as of yet, moved into the Netherlands turn 2? That's the question. And then Scrivo, can we get a update on the clock for this? Nighthorn may have taken over an hour for their turn 2 play.
Yeah.
May have comfortably taken over an hour.
Turn 1 and turn 2. Yeah, they have.
So let me just do a check. There you go. Oh, everyone can see.
Yeah.
27 minutes left on his clock. 40 left. Okay, so it is now Slaves to Darkness turn 2. Okay, so then they've got to really motor now. They've got 40 minutes on their clock. They can take a little bit longer. But yeah, Germany real slow on the mark there.
Yeah, not a good pace, and especially with an army as granular as Nighthaunt, you need to pick it up because you need those late game turns to win. And,
I mean, if he goes at that same turn methodology for the next 3 turns, he's going to be 2.5 hours over time.
Well, it's even simpler. If he goes for that same pace in his turn 3, he won't finish his turn 3.
Correct. So he's going to have to see this motor now. So Archeon is locked in combat, and we also don't, if you look, have a lot of Nighthorn on the board. Of course, we've got Nighthorn at this bottom left-hand corner, waiting. Wait, have we seen the priority into turn 3 yet? No, we can't have.
No, we're still at Slaves.
So those objectives are not there.
Yeah.
So all the objective is still just this one central piece at the moment. There are no other objectives on the board. So he's just waiting.
Time on the clock at the bottom of turn 2 is going to be vital in this match because what's going to happen is only 2 of these objectives around the outside are going to activate, meaning that you need the time to think, to position, to plan, and to score what you're going to score in the important turns of this game, which is turns 3, 4, and 5. At the moment, Nighthaunt have used up more than two-thirds of their time in turns 1 or 2 when there's only one objective and not all the points to score.
Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, so we have a priority roll. We have a priority roll coming up on table 8. So this is our very tense game. We did manage to get a unit of squigs here into the Lumineth. In that, don't forget, they didn't score. I don't think they scored any points.
No, these 2 units being locked up, and then the unit of herders behind them, I believe, also being trapped, or the herders being trapped behind them, is just crippling this army.
Because of those endless spells.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a dice. We have it. Ooh. Who won the roll? Lumineth, thanks, Charlie. Lumineth Realm Lords have won the priority roll. This is into turn 3.
Yeah, massive, and it's absolutely what you want to do. So let's
now we wait to see where all of the objectives go.
Yeah, and let's remember the way that this is played out. The Lumineth Realm Lords set up their battle bunker here, their Helon Teclis shooting Sentinel Castle. They want to set up a bunker, shoot out of it, but they figured out an even better way than doing that. You don't need to shoot units if they stay still. So these squigs, they're tiny little balls of hate with big mouths but low bravery. Casting a couple of spells on them that require them to pass a bravery test to move they have been pinned back here for the entire game. 0 threat, 0 board presence, 0 score. What that's also meant is that the Lumineth have been a lot more confident in moving up and positioning themselves around the board, meaning that now we see in turn 3, 2 of these objectives here are going to turn on. We'll find that out shortly. Lumineth winning that priority roll and taking it means they can potentially and most likely put those spells back on these 2 units again and take advantage of having the initiative to make sure they secure the 2 active objectives and lock their opponent off of it. This is going to be a huge turn for the Lumineth.
It's going to be really good. I'm really excited to see what happens. Again, output is going to be an issue, but they've been able to supersede output with just literally locking their opponents down, which I think has been quite interesting, to be honest. Just for everyone to be aware, don't forget this is only round 4 of the Age of Sigmar World Team Championships. There are 2 more rounds tomorrow.
You had the round count, didn't you? How many games we've streamed so far?
This is games 8, 16. This is up to game 32.
Wow.
Up to game 32.
But
thank you.
That's not counting the 4 rounds a day from the singles?
No, that's not
so that's
that.
even more.
So that would take us to 52.
Wow.
Oh, good job, team. Yeah, that's 52.
Yep.
Okay, so we're just gonna get through to the rest of these games now. But that means that what we haven't done is we put any of the teams within striking distance of winning the event on the stream yet, apart from the USA, who we put on Friday night, just to make sure that we could get their home nation, very much like with Australia.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, it's more than likely going to be France versus the Netherlands. Oh, no, France are playing the Netherlands. Yeah. No. Have they? No, they have, I think. Oh, no, they're playing them now. No. So, okay, so Denmark are currently playing France.
Yes.
Okay. Then Sweden are currently playing the USA, right? Most likely it will be the USA versus France tomorrow.
Ooh.
Is what you'll end up seeing, no matter what happens in their game with Denmark. And then Denmark will probably be playing the Swedes because all of those teams are in such a pole position.
Yeah.
Now, that might change a little bit overnight. That might change a little bit overnight, but we currently don't know, but that's most likely. And almost none of those teams have been on the stream yet, with the exception of Team USA.
Yeah, and so we'll see the winner. The pole position match at the moment is France versus Denmark. The winner of that game will almost certainly be our Game 5 stream.
Almost certainly. But they'll either be playing USA or Sweden.
Yeah.
But that depends on pairings and matchups, and also points.
And the question asked in the chat as well: are either of these teams in position to striking distance of the top 3 or the top 5?
3, the podium, no.
Podium, no. Top 5, I would say yes.
Top 5, yes. Yeah, top half. These guys currently battling for top half at the moment, which is fun. Okay, so let's just go through our games again. Back to table 1. Jeffrey with his pretenders representing Team Netherlands, and he is having a rough one. Turn 1, he took the turn, pushed his army into the mid-board, and then Zinch's turn 1, he took a lot of models off.
Yeah.
And then Tobias won the priority into 2, and now he's pushing into everything with the exception of Glottos.
Yep.
He's leaving Glutos alone. You can see in the bottom right-hand corner, though, Sinesh still are loaded with some stuff. They do have the Contorted Epitome and another unit, but what Toby has decided to do, he's decided he's just going to take this and the middle, and that's what his goal is right now. So it's looking pretty bad, mainly because the resources left for Sinesh. If I can get some shots to the board, thanks. No, table 1, please, John. The resources left for this army, especially
it's dwindling fast.
Dwindling very fast. And it's because a lot of those points are stacked inside of Glutos.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many points inside of Glutos, so it's no surprise that he is still here, is still alive. But the thing is, the rest of the army has kind of fallen down around his ears. We're seeing just an incredible amount of kind of damage, a kind of expression, and we're seeing a swarm of models across the board just really starting to dominate.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like there are some bliss barbs near that cockatrice. There are a few bliss barbs left, but not many. The cockatrice is thanks John, into those bliss barbs at the top. If you're looking at the top down, it would be the top left hand side as well. But they really don't have a lot of tools left. Also, Toby's army is gorgeous. If anyone's taken the time to look at it, it's really nice. Just take a chance. If you get a chance, thank you, John, to look at it. It's just absolutely outrageous. He brought it last year to Worlds, or part of it to Worlds last year, because it was part of his Legion of the First Prince army. But now it's rolled into being a Zinch army as well. So you do love to see it.
And again, I love seeing models with bases that actually are really dynamic, really exciting. Usually bases are an afterthought. They're just kind of slapped together. Maybe they enhance the look of it, but largely they're not a feature. I love seeing an army where the army looks spectacular and the bases are a beautiful feature in addition, rather than just another thing that was required.
Okay. So that's table 1. Table 2 is our really exciting Nighthaunt versus Ironeth Deepkin match. Nighthaunt won the turn into turn 3, and they did charge into the bottom part of the corner. However, now we do have the Ironeth Deepkin are about to strike back. And Deepkin, do you think, Dan, they're going to be able to clear this center objective?
Well, you know why I don't think they're going to be able to with the eels? Because it looks like they're stuck in combat. Looks like these eels here... Oh, yeah, thank you, Scrivo. Great shot. And we can see there, those eels are tagged in combat.
Oh, that's huge.
So that's massive.
Well, so he is going to be able to shoot off these
That'll
Reavers
be the dream, yeah.
into them. But I guess maybe what he could do is he could bring the Reavers into shoot at the back here, leave this combat where it is. Then he's in an okay position. Oh, they've just finished the turn. No way.
That's all they achieved.
That's all they achieved.
This needed to be a massive turn.
Lex really wants these points.
For this Deepkin wave.
Deepkin,
oh yeah, they've won priority. Deepkin won the roll for priority and took it. Now let's remember, the Deepkin started this match by bringing their wave around here, by really pushing in towards these bottom 2. However, really clever, really tight play from the Nighthaunt, and a very unfortunate priority roll meant Nighthaunt have been able to lock Deepkin out and keep these 2 objectives for themselves for the whole time. Now we can see that. We can see it on the screen, see it in the score. 15-9 at the bottom of turn 3, and that includes Deepkin's big high tide turn where all their stuff strikes first. But you know what, you watery little muppets, the elves are totally useless in that turn, and we have seen just an amazing display from the Nighthaunt, holding them out and keeping the fishy, untrustworthy elves from scoring any gold, getting any points.
So there's only an hour left on this round here at the Sigmar World Team Championships. Round 4, round 5 and 6 tomorrow. Obviously, you can watch it here live. And then I'm starting to look across the room, see if any of these games are wrapping up. Some of the other rounds are finishing, but oh boy. Oh boy! Right, table number 3.
Yeah.
This is our Bulgur.
Yeah.
We are in Tzeentch turn 4, and they have been able to take out more and more Bulgur. You see some more happening here, going out in the hero phase.
Looks like there's only 2 left down here in the bottom right.
Yep, and then we have this unit of 3. So the unit here. Tried to charge the castle. Thank you very much, John. But the Bulgur were hit by the burning sigil of Tzeentch, and that spawn that popped out. When you take mortal wounds, a spawn popped out. We've just seen it.
It's just happened again. It's just happened again.
There you go. So what happened is it popped out within 3 inches, and it stops that unit from being able to charge because it happens in each player's movement phase.
Devastating.
Kills a unit. That's absolutely fantastic. So that's been able to shut down. So even though the deep strike mechanics of the Beast of Chaos have been able to shut down the Tzeentch army, now we're seeing the Burning Sigil shut down the enemy army. Yeah. Absolutely ludicrously good.
Wow.
The spawn is definitely called Steve.
For sure, yep, confirmed.
It's
Steve
confirmed. He's told us it's called Steve. Okay, wow, spawn's OP. Noah can confirm. Exactly. Right, so that castle is blocked up, and it looks like, if I'm right, at the top, we still do have some gore, though, holding objectives. The score is very close. If the scorecard is spot on, which I think it is.
Look at the pace. Look at the pace that he picks up his dice and rolls it. They called him the nuclear reactor because of it. And look at him. Look at him go. A Tzeentch player moving with the speed of 1,000 suns.
Yeah, he is
look
fast.
At it. You know what that is, though? That's someone that recognizes he has a very techie army with a lot to do, so he needs to move quick to get it done. Bless his cotton socks. I love to see it.
Yeah. Something Jacob's pointing out in the chat, and I've been making, this is not a plug, it's just a comment. I have been making wrap-up videos every evening at the end of the event and putting them on Patreon. yeah, I would mirror Jacob's thoughts in the chat. It is actually really lovely to see at Worlds that there is almost no like 10-10 behavior that you used to see in older game systems, and instead, like, you see a lot of people go for the big wins, and that's because you need to get as many points for your team as possible because of the cap system, because some teams are racing away with it.
Yeah.
You can't just get a few points, you need to get as many points.
Rob, watching him roll dice is hypnotic.
Wow,
he's clearly a Zinch player, because I just stared and watched him roll a bunch of attacks.
Look at what he's doing now!
Yeah.
He could not have measured then.
What do you mean?
This guy's like the Flash.
He is.
Only not as problematic.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
He is
yeah.
quick.
And you don't need anyone else to put together a marketing department for me to decide I want to see him play.
Yeah, that's true. Right. Absolutely crazy. We do not. That's some display of practice. Amazing. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
So the important part to know is we still don't know how some of these other teams are doing, because you don't know how the teams are doing until the end. Mm-hmm. You do hear snippets and you do hear little tidbits popping around, but you don't hear everything. And the reason you don't hear everything is because that's when all the results go in.
Yep.
Yeah, so you have to wait for that. Okay, so we're waiting for this game to pan out. Table 3, Zinch turn 4, though. We've seen these blue horrors at the top. Dan, you can see that. And we've got our support hero. Now they're having a bit of time out.
He's not having a timeout to talk strategy. He's got to go put the cooling rods into the water and shut down before he melts down. That's right. Go throw him in an ice bath quick before something goes wrong.
Don't put him near Team Serbia. They'll be triggered.
His lactic acid must be through the roof. Get this man a massage.
Right, so over on table 4, our Sylvaneth match. So this is Mitchell with his Oakenbrow against Tristan with his Jaws of Mort for Germany. We've had a really exciting game where the Gitz army has been slowly moving forward, dropping little units here, and then the Sylvaneth have kept. Just that Durthu has been like a literal. It's kind of been a really interesting, like, hammer blow retreat. So he's teleported over, hammer blowed, retreated, done the same, hammer blowed, retreated, and then he's kept wiping units out. These tree lords at the bottom, which are really frustrating, to be honest. Dan, I've played against these before, because they don't do quite enough output that they're a threat.
Yeah.
And they're so incredibly difficult to get rid of.
So
and you're like, it's a rock and a hard place. You're like, oh.
They're not a big enough threat to commit actual points or actual hammer units to deal with, but they also just won't die if all you're putting into them is your minor things. That Durthu whip crack of throwing him forward, stabbing, and then jumping back around has been honestly spectacular to watch.
Look how lovely Mitchell looks, though. He's having just a great time. He's like, I've teleported loads of lads out of my trees. It's been great fun.
Do you want to know how good it is?
Hey, Mitchell!
Yeah, look at him. He's sitting there. He's cool as a cucumber, which does make sense because trees are notoriously vegetarian.
Yeah, exactly. The points are really close, though. Let's just get an update on this game on table 4. As you can see, currently the scores are 16-13. Mitchell de Boer has got 16 points, but we are going into Tristan Paffelon's fourth turn.
Sorry, just out of curiosity, did Desecrate Their Lands, was that achieved last turn by Tristan? Because
that's last turn.
That was last turn. He did get it. Okay, cool.
That was last turn, and it could well have been just this. It could well have been this single.
I imagine it almost certainly was.
Single lad at the top. Now, if you look how pushed back this army is. The Gloomspite Gitz army is really pushed. Don't forget, they need to hold more objectives.
Yeah.
And this is table quarters to hold. That's where the objectives are. So then he needs to put more bodies in this territory, or more bodies in this territory. That at the top has got a Tree Lord and 5 Tree Revenants. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, they've got the Tree Lord and Durthu. So that's going to be 10. So they have to commit a lot of resources just to hold an objective.
But, Rob, think about it this way. This is the thing that keeps happening to them. Every time the Gitz stick their head out of this little bunker, thanks for the shot, Scrivo, that's great. The Gitz are sitting in this little bunker, and all tournament, we've seen Gitz be very, very aggressive. Been incredibly aggressive play. But what we see here, the Gitz started in this bunker. They pushed slightly into the middle. And then since that moment, every time they stick a head up, it's like whack-a-mole. This gigantic tree with a huge sword flies out of the woods, stabs them, and then disappears. It must be incredibly frustrating because they can't get any board presence. They can't build any tempo because every time they do, they're slapped back into their corner.
Legitimately, a fantastic day. Like, fantastic day.
It's also
absolutely great games.
A wonderful example of what Sylvaneth can do.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. It's been really interesting not seeing it shut down. I would have seen Gitz be more aggressive, maybe, but who am I to talk? Table 5, and this is all over. This is murder she wrote.
It is.
This is pretty rough. The very quick TLDR is the Slaves of Darkness, 2 units of 6 Vanguard and 10 Knights, bricked up in the middle. Then eventually the Beast of Chaos landed. They charged. They failed, and then the Slaves of Darkness just took them off the board.
Absolutely.
That's the long and short of it.
There's a big unit of missing Bulgor that were killed last turn here. The guys that did for the Bulgor, the Varangard have come over here and done for the big unit of Bulgor that were here, and that's we did say at the start of this game the problem for Beast of Chaos was that the Knights of the Empty Throne had 3 big threat units, and they only had 2 to trade, so they couldn't play the trading game, and that's absolutely what's cost them it.
Yeah, they just did not have the utility to get through the armor, which is the important part, and that was very, very rough for them.
Yeah.
You really do have to shout out. But they look like they've had a great day. Patrick Liu and
this is table 6.
Varvan is just having a wonderful little time. Yes, hello Fish. Loads of love to you in the chat. I hope you're doing super well, buddy. And thanks everyone for joining us live. Table 6, the Kharadron Overlords versus the Kharadron Overlords. The headache, the math equivalent, the Warhammer equivalent of doing trigonometry upside down while inside of a Wurlitzer, and it's gone crazy.
Yeah.
It's gone crazy. You fly high, no, I fly high, no, you thunder, no, I thunder. The TLDR is 13 points to Mitchell for Team Netherlands and 9 points for Max. Max gave away the turn into turn 3, so Max has still got to score, and he might get to hold 1, he might get to hold 2, he might get to hold more. He's got more bodies on the board. It's whether or not he's going to be able to pull that off.
He's very confident going for gaining momentum.
Yeah, and he also, don't forget, he also intentionally gave that turn away there. So he has this unit of Thunderers here. He has this unit of Thunderers here. He did lose his Ironclad, but he has more of the board. That's the important part to talk about. He also has this objective because Max started in this part, bottom left-hand corner of the board. So, we also haven't. Yeah, so we have.
Oh no!
Yeah, and Admiral it just went in overgrown as well, so you can't see him to shoot him.
He got it. Thunderers to the left of him, Thunderers to the right. Here I am, stuck in.
Oh, is that an enemy Admiral?
Terrain.
No, it can't.
It is.
No, it isn't.
I think they're charging him.
No, it's a friendly Admiral. Wait, is it?
They're charging him, Rob.
Oh, amazing! And the reason for
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's an enemy admiral.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason they're charging him down is because of the overgrown rule.
Yeah.
At the event here, overgrown, which is a GW rule, has been changed from 3 inches to 1 inch, which means if you've got a small enough base, you can effectively hide.
Amazing.
Right? And then that means they've had to charge in.
Yep.
They've had to take him out which is normally because he's got all that shooting, but it's not working.
Thunderers with some of the most high-tech and powerful weapons in the game. They've taken them by the barrels, and they're running in to club him to death.
Okay, so we are going to keep score. We are going to keep track with all these games. But while we do have some info coming in. So far, for Denmark, France, and these are the 2 front runners for taking out the event.
Top teams, top ones.
Top ones. We've got 3 games called. 3 so far. 48 to Denmark, 12 to France. Now, there's still 5 games to come in, and if those 5 games are 20-0s to France, that's going to change to 112. So it's not anything to go on with 3 games. So out of those 3 games, they got an average of about 15, 16 points. That's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to be too disgruntled with that.
That's only 3 games called. That means they're getting 19s, right? To get 48 from 3 games?
16 times 3, I think, is 48.
I'm bad at math.
That's fine. That's not a problem. That's a problem. I'm bad at loads of stuff, mate.
Great.
Right? I'm sure. Then we do have Greece versus Wales. We got a 2-0 to Wales. Canada versus Australia. Which is also just another fun match, which don't forget, Dan did say he went in Australia to win.
Stop saying this.
Denmark versus France. I think this is the same 3 games called 48-12. I think that's the same result.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
48-12. Amazing. Thank you so much. So that's actually massive.
Great.
Because if Denmark, what we call cap, i.e. they get a lot of points out of France. France are their last real threat.
Yeah, true. Yep.
France are their last real threat. So that means tomorrow we'll get to see them in like literally a high five swan song, round 5 into Sweden.
Wow.
Yeah, likely, where Sweden is just going to be like, okay, you're not allowed any points. And then based on every other result, they're going to get wrecked. Okay.
Yeah, they did not come to play. They came to dominate.
Yeah, so then Canada versus Australia. Don't forget, everyone live at home, Dan did choose Australia to win.
You forced me. You made me. He
said, I want Canada to lose.
I didn't. I said, I want to. It's very different. It's very different.
He played. So then Australia Slanesh beat Canada's KO.
Okay.
And then 2-1 to Canada, loads of closes. And then England are currently playing the Czech Republic behind us, you can see. And they're currently 3-0 to England. So England have got 3 games out of that so far.
Wow.
I would expect England to probably cap that round, which is actually pretty huge because that means that they're going to get a good match. Right, so we're just going to jump back now to table 3 and our matches. Thank you to everyone for bringing that info, Mark, Tom, the rest of the crew. How is he going to keep getting citizenship if you keep saying that?
Stop it. Stop.
Okay, so the Lord of Change, this is important for you to know, wasn't able to finish off the Bulgors with its spells, decided to leave its castle and then kill the Bulgor in combat, which is actually very, very funny because the previous Lord of Change got... apparently that Lord of Change also already has Archeon under his belt as well, so just soften him up and then go in for the birder.
Yeah, he did.
The bird murder.
The birderer.
The birderer.
He's the bird murderer.
Yeah, birderack. That's what it is. So that's this is over in the top right hand corner. That Lord of Change has been able to take out all. Oh, look at those Bulgor, unfortunately gone.
One last Doom Ball stuck in combat after seeing a bird cut all of his friends down. He's got to be shaking in his little horny boots.
Yeah, he is going to be really, really upset about that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. So that's... Okay, and then there's one Bulgor.
He's had to kill 2 of his friends because every time he went to charge into the bird, they'd die and turn into a spawn. He'd kill his mate, the next one would turn into a spawn, he'd kill his mate.
That is going to be a very confused cow.
He's not...
That cow is going to be very confused.
He only has 2 wounds left. There's a very good chance he just turns flat into a spawn next turn.
I agree. Okay, so let's try and get through these games now with only 42 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah.
And let's kind of start doing some calls.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's start to write it down. Okay.
Actually, sorry. We were on table 7. And Nighthaunt won the priority into turn 3.
Yeah.
And don't forget, they won the priority into turn 3 with, I think, about 25 minutes left on their clock.
Yeah, we'll get a clock check in a second.
We'll get a clock check on
Nighthaunt.
Nighthaunt.
A clock check from Nighthaunt.
Yeah, please, that'd be really great.
He's got 12 minutes left.
He's got 12 minutes left.
Versus Nico's 30. Wow.
30. So Nico, who is... so he's decided to... so the objectives are here, and the objectives are here.
This is actually the best split for Nico. Because at this point in time, what Nico really wants to do is be able to honestly play out the clock and then pick them up. And at the moment, he has a big unit here. Oh, did we just see Archeon lifted?
Archeon is gone.
Archeon's been lifted. Never mind, it's not the split that he wanted.
Wow. That's huge. That's
Seeing
huge.
him go
Lots of damage coming in from those. I mean, I don't really think Nico had many other options.
Yeah.
He had to move Archeon into that middle because that's the only place where the objective is.
Yep.
That's why Realm Stone Cache is such a trash mission.
Yeah.
Like, absolute trash. And again, the captains who voted for it, stop it. Yeah.
Well, I actually heard, so a little bit of a quiet word, I was talking to some teams who, after last round and having to play twists and turns and...
which they have to do tomorrow morning.
And the lurkers below, the teams asked their captains why they voted for it, and a lot of captains said, we didn't think about having to play those missions. We just voted to play them all.
Idiots. Quote me. Right, okay. So Archeon is down, and then we're in a good spot here for the Nighthaunt. Although they only have minutes left on the clock right now. Wow. Wow. We just heard some. Your eyes only. I'm glad I read the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got. Usually when we get handed paper, we just cut to the meat of it. Fortunately, we read the big top secret. Your eyes only. Big. All we can say is sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck.
Always does. Right. Okay. So So this means that this current match, which is going Nighthawk's way already, as you can see on the scorecard there, is going to continue to go Germany's way. Colin Claren with a slow, methodical game, and only 12 minutes left on the round to try and win the game.
That's the issue. At the moment, he is in the driver's seat, but if he runs out of time...
This is the third game I've seen him clock out in a row, though.
Yeah.
And if I was the Netherlands are not this sort of team. But if I were the Netherlands, I'd be calling a ref.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of time to be taken when he clocks out. But maybe he's like, I win on this turn. And he has quite rightly defeated most of... I don't really think Nico has the board presence.
He's got this big splintered fang here, but that's about it. He's got a few engaged around there. I don't think he has much left, though. I wonder if we've seen Ravagers go off and if he's returned that unit yet. Because remember, he does get to return a unit at half strength after he dies. Maybe he's waiting for the last models from that 20-man unit of Splintered Fang to die so he can bring back a 10-man unit, pick up objectives here, move this Splintered Fang over here, and take 1-2 more for the rest of the battle. Yeah, there are a lot of units on the board. Like if this goes to a 5-turn game, he could keep swamping these objectives. We'll have to see how this looks. We will have to see how this looks. The best players can play Warhammer at the best levels, but these battle plans make rounds more exciting. It makes the worlds better with the randomness of battle plans. They're not random, though. You can plan for them. They're definitely not random. It definitely doesn't make it better. It's absolutely not correct. Well, the example that I would say is that when we looked at twists and turns yesterday, we had across the board one player who held 3 objectives for the whole match, another player who held 2, but because of the objectives that turned off, the player that held 3 lost.
To be fair, we had some great games to stream, but it's just rubbish for the players.
Yeah.
Also, Realm Stone Cache is just trash. Like, it's just a trash mission. It's everyone run into the middle, and so what if an army's like, I don't really run into the middle, but like, sucks to suck.
Yeah, well, you better figure out how.
Yeah, what a trash mission. Anyway, so then table 8, don't forget, this is our Gits, played by Nick Frey from Team Netherlands, up against Daniel from Team Germany.
And he finally got to move a unit of squigs by the looks of things, Rob.
He did. Now, I know that the objectives landed here and here, so that's why you've seen this unit of blue squigs move to this bottom left-hand corner. And you've also seen this other unit of squigs, which were located on the top right, move into this unit of water. Well, I think we're now down to the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Because the Wardens died in the previous turn. And... Techless has had to retreat further and further back and try and control the board, but he hasn't been able to. He's been able to score quite nicely. Daniel for Team Germany, he was holding the objective in the middle thanks to shutting down these squig blocks with spells for a couple of turns, so he is up on points versus Nick. If you just take a moment to look, Nick wasn't able to score overly well in the first few turns. As you can see there, held nothing in turns 2 and 3, but now he's in the mix, running forward.
Revenge of the Squig is now, and you look at how quick can you imagine this unit that spent 2 turns sat there, in 1 turn has gotten to this position? Can you imagine if they'd been moving the whole game?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Okay, oh, lovely shot. Right, so, really, really good match, and it looking like more and more points getting racked on the board for Netherlands, but it's whether or not they can catch up to Team Germany.
Yeah, that's it.
This is going to be a tight one. So, very, very tight. 36 minutes left on the clock for this round. Absolutely very exciting. Okay, so table 1, we've got Sinesh turn 2, and what has Jeffrey got left?
Yeah.
That's what we need to look at. This is a tough one. He does have this unit of Bliss Barbs at the bottom, which I think is very, very interesting. I think this is very interesting. And then it doesn't look like he's got many other models left. Oh, we do have some shots. Thank you very much, John. We've got time on the clock. This is very close, actually. Definitely are only in turn 2. Toby with only 16 minutes left on the clock. Jeffrey with 21 minutes left on the clock. So it's very... But, this is Jeffrey's turn too. Sorry, yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, because obviously Zinch got got the double from 1 into 2. So he's going to be in a really interesting position here. If we just take a moment to look at the board. Johnny, if you just give me the middle of the board, please, that'd be really great. I'd love to see what's actually left. The Gluttos or Skellion is left. I think Gluttos or and then we do have, there you can see the contorted epitome in the middle, trying to fight, but that's up against Zinch's pretty much whole force. That pink horror unit in the middle, much reduced at the moment, much reduced. And then we've got these Blick. Okay, so we'll leave this game as now, but this is Jeffrey's turn too, and he has to do a lot of work to clear this mid-board. It's going to be very challenging, especially with his Cockatrice. You can make Gluttos only hit on 6s. That's going to be the important play. We'll come back to that game in a moment. We're just going to go over to table. We're going to go over to table number 3 right now. We did hear that the Lord of Change that went out to do some combat has now died.
So the Doom Bull fought twice.
Doom Bull.
And then he got finished off by the plucky little Ungor Raiders. But the question is it too little, too late?
That's a great question. Yeah, I love it being Ungor Raiders. They're so great. Yeah. They're literally useless.
They're trash.
They just they find like a twig and they just use a vine.
40 of them firing bows from the edge of the board.
Yeah.
Barely tickle a twig, and yet they took down the big bird that was the birderer of their big Minotaur friends.
They're so good.
They're
so good. And yeah, so both Lord of Change from this army died, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. Manuel's done a great job in unpicking this castle. But actually, got to shout out Morgan for being able to like keep pushing out, even when completely hampered by loads of different attacks and damage.
And look, he's got the summoning up this side of the board as well, so he's really set himself up in these 2 table quarters, and he only needs to kind of delay and pressure these other 2 to make sure that he's getting the points.
Yeah. So it's. We're just hearing something about the change caster at the top of the board, so just waiting to hear about that. The change caster is denying the grand strategy.
By being stood next to the herdstone.
By being stood next to the herdstone. Pretty amazing. So is he won't even be able to get to him, I don't think. Oh, we do have priority rolls. This is turn 5, I think. This is a turn 5 priority roll right now, is what we're looking for. Both players. Zinch rolled a 6, won the priority roll.
Look at the speed of this man. Look at him go. He whipped that tape measure out. It was up and down the board in a heartbeat.
This is the nuclear reactor that is.
Look at him.
That is Morgan.
Gosh.
Zinch have won every priority. Oof, rough.
Yeah.
That man's a machine. That man is a machine.
What they should do is just hook a couple of electrodes up to him and have a perpetual amount of energy.
So let's just take a moment to look at the points, though, on as we're looking at it on table 3. It's currently 20 points to 14. Wow. There's going to be a 3-point swing at the end at the moment. Because you're going to deny a Grand Strat being near the herdstone, and also he's going to get a Grand Strat.
Yeah, however...
Unless the Ungor can kill the change caster.
Well, they killed the bird. Could they kill the Ungor? Now, let's look at it, though. He has dropped 2 Grand Strats. He's missed Desecrate, and he's missed the Mass Conjuration in turn 1. So he is 2 Grand Strats down, meaning if they come to a dead heat, he will lose it on the secondary differential. So he really needs to keep the points up, because he can't afford it to come to a tie.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a fast dude. He is a super fast dude, and this is a very exciting match. But I don't think we've called any of these games so far. Dan, none of our games are yet all finished. They're all tight, so we're going to get a rampant series of things happen here. So that's table 3. Table 4, let's just take a moment to look at that. That is I think I would be comfortable in saying that I feel like this is going to the Netherlands.
Yeah, these trees have just slapped the squigs all over the park. They took them for a walk, and then they threw the ball, and left them. They're gone. That's it.
It's actually been quite a funny match.
But it's been awesome. Honestly, I have rarely seen... Everyone's told me that Sylvaneth can do these amazing moves, and I have absolutely loved watching them do what they do best. And not against some easy beat, not against some dive on the grenade list, against one of the premier lists running one of the best lineups that we've seen every single army take. And it's been textbook. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, I think Sylvaneth was a pick for a lot of teams that they didn't take.
Yeah.
They don't have a very high meta rep here, and I feel like it solves a lot of problems for a lot of armies. And actually watching it beat Squigs is pretty phenomenally weird. And maybe had they been more objectives, that might have been more of an issue. Maybe if it hadn't been board... it hadn't been table quarters, maybe it would have been different as well. But ultimately, it's been a very, very interesting match. Yeah. We obviously have to wait for the final points to come in. Also, those monsters, Dirthu and the Tree Lords, are slowly progressing towards the Herdstone. Not the Herdstone, the Loon Shrine.
Yeah.
And that Loon Shrine going down is going to be RIP.
Yeah.
So that is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, we're seeing... Imagine if you're the Squig player right now. You're seeing your Loon Shrine here and just these 3 big beasts slowly making their way and knowing you're running out of Squigs to throw into the wood chipper and keep them from smashing your home to pieces.
Yeah, really, really interesting. Okay, so that's that's game on table 4. Over on table 5, that game is all over, and that can definitely be called for Knights of the Empty Throne.
Yeah.
And that's our first win to Germany. That's Germany on table 5. That is all done. And then we got Max for Team Germany against Mitchell for Team Netherlands. KO versus KO in the big match. Okay. And then we just need to see how everything is going here.
Yeah, the question is going to be what's left to score objectives. Now, it looks like with the priority that maybe this objective here has been destroyed in the top right.
This is Mitchell's turn 4, so the Netherlands turn 4.
Yep, and you know what I see here, Rob, in this shot? Thank you for that, Scrivo. I see an admiral-shaped hole.
The Admiral died.
I see an admiral-shaped hole there.
I can't believe it. The Admiral died. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, he got
really good.
gun-butted to death. So if we have a look, this match has really been kind of like a dance. It's been a high noon. We had boats jumping around, dropping off their chalk. We had a Soul Scream bridge sending them back over this way. We lost the Ironclad here, which then traded for the boat down the bottom. And since then, we've only had, I think, even the gun hauler seems to have disappeared. So I think they've had to foot slog it for the last couple of turns. Now, this unit has been camped on this objective for just about the whole game, scoring points. This unit here has moved up.
So Mitchell won the turn for the priority and gave the turn away so he could burn that top right objective, trying to make sure he keeps on. If you would like to follow the list in the chat, thank you to Bart's for putting the link to the Pun Pun. Give it to the Pun Pun. Do it to the Pun Pun. Thank you for that. That'll put all the lists in there. I know there's a question in the chat. People running Warsong and Oakenbrow every single time. The Warsong is obviously the support piece to the Oakenbrow list.
Yeah.
As it goes. Oh, okay. Interesting.
We're just getting a bit of an update here. We're getting an update by 3 lovely gentlemen walking along with beers. They were once Team USA players.
Honestly,
but
it's looking like round 5 tomorrow is just going to be us all clapping Denmark as they clap Sweden's cheeks and then just take the event out. That's what it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute barnstormer of an event.
Yeah.
And I don't know, haven't got the results in right now, but Team Denmark, ladies and gentlemen, looks like they're on for the shot at the top. And that's absolutely huge for them.
I mean, USA, they were wearing Swedish jerseys, and it didn't look like they took them by force. It looked like they were converted.
We got a lot of no faces.
Yeah, we got no face. They've been converted. I think I heard Swedish accents on their mouths instead of their Texan drawl.
Is there any way for the USA to catch? Right. I mean, tomorrow's all to play for, right?
Yeah.
If you end up with two 120s, but your real question is that Denmark have now. This is their final tough match.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to anyone else, but they're probably going to play Sweden in the morning. Mm-hmm. Now, if Sweden clap them, if they hit them with a 120, which would be amazing, because no one else has been able to touch them.
No.
then you would end up in a really solid place.
Yeah.
But we haven't got that at the minute.
No.
So again, I still don't have the results. Obviously, final standings will go up online when we do have them. But 25 minutes left. But I think
it's getting tight.
Yeah, is USA crushing us? The USA is not crushing you, Boobin.
It is.
There is apparently USA and Sweden is a close match.
Yeah. It seems tight.
Yeah. Now France are going to be livid if they do not win their game against Denmark, which means whoever has to play France tomorrow, which is going to be probably in order. It'll probably be
USA.
It'll be USA in the morning, and then it will either be Sweden or be England. Although it depends on the points. Then France are going to be coming with the thunder, and you're going to have to play a very invigorated French team who are looking for at least second place.
Yeah, if they don't podium, they'll riot. They'll absolutely riot, and we do know that they love a good riot.
Yeah. Ask Denmark how it ended last year. Hey, listen. I'm not calling it right now. There's only 24 minutes left on the clock. There's lots happening. And we still got an entire day of coverage tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that it's over. I'm saying that there are games to play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the important point to know. So we just got to focus on that and get involved.
Absolutely.
All right, okay, so we've got a few more matches to round up. Our Nighthawk game, he can't have any minutes left on the clock.
No,
what is the clock? Hit me up with the clock, please, on Nighthawk game.
Yeah.
That's the one I currently want right now.
We're hearing from the table. It sounds like there is... It's Slave's turn 4, but what's left on the clock?
Yeah, Slave's turn 4 right now. So Slave's starting his turn 4. And as you can see, they took their unit of Splinter Fang, charged over there. Now, this game is obviously defined by this terrible battle plan, which is Realmstone Cache. On the first turn, Archeon and some Splinter Fang charged onto this objective to clear out a unit of Hex Wraiths. Then they had to stay there for 3 turns because it's a terrible mission. And then all that happened is everyone else charged in. And then Archeon eventually charged. Oh, John, I missed it. Please go back. Then we saw the Splinter Fang charging, as John said. There is 8 minutes left on the Nighthawk player's turn. 15 minutes left, if that's right,
which
on Slaves to Darkness.
I believe he played a 4-minute turn last round.
4-minute turn. Dan said, don't forget.
Wait, no, shut up. Rob, don't say anything. Rob, don't say anything. You can't tell them. They'll cancel my citizenship.
So while we don't know what the result is between Canada and Australia, we can't forget that Dan obviously chose for Australia to win and for Canada to lose.
He's misrepresenting how it went down. I love you. Please don't walk away, Bal. I'm so sorry. I love you. Send me artwork. I miss you.
That's what the internet said. So there you go. So rough.
Wow, Rob. Wow. Selling me up the river to Canada.
Always.
You know I have to go back to Canada, right?
That's on you, man. Yeah. Apparently someone's already sent the clip to Justin Trudeau, so...
Oh, gosh.
Who knows that? But I guess that's like everyone in America who's like... So Lumineth turn 4 on table 8, that's where we're currently at. It's been a really interesting match where we've seen Lumineth for 2 turns shut down 2 bricks of Squig Herds at the top left-hand corner and then move their units of Sentinels or Wardens into the middle to try to hold it. But it seems that wasn't enough, and then over turns 3 and 4, what we've seen happen is, there you can see that center objective. The Gits have finally moved into the middle, taking out the Wardens and the Sentinels, moved into the right and grabbed the objective, and then while clipping that objective, they're now threatening Techless at the back of the board. If we look at the overlay, we've got this objective on the right and left. They're active. None of the others are active. It's covered in squigs. Sentinels are pushed back by the Loon Shrine. Techless is scared. There's big, hungry, gnashy monsters ready to eat you. This is going to go all in for Nick Frey, and this is exciting. This is exciting. Exhilarating final moments, final 20 minutes of this round. Absolute yikes for the Lumineth player. He looked dominant.
He did. I think the thing was, he did look dominant. He looked like he was in a great place. And if he'd continued to get those 2 spells off, but that's the problem. His entire game plan relied on consistently casting 2 spells. Now, one of them he could guarantee got out, but the other he had to roll for. And at some point, that Cathala, that sooky little Cathala, failed. And that's what's let these squigs get out. Then knowing that he had 2 big threats, Nick was able to push forward with his other battle plan, with his other unit. He couldn't commit until he knew he had both units able to put this big pincer motion in. And the thing that's really impressive, and maybe is a sign that Jaws of Mork are absolutely busted, is that even with the majority of his points not able to be brought to bear for almost the entire battle, he was able to push them out and punch his way through. Gets a fine, everything's fine.
Yeah, like, by the way, I won't engage for 2 turns, but when I do, get wrecked. Also, only a third of my army get wrecked. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Right, just jumping back to table 1. See, Toby's going to be super pushed on time now, although we are into Jeffrey's turn. Jeffrey's going to be rolling it out, trying to get as many points as possible, but this is going to be very, very tight for this match, and it's going to be, don't forget, Jeffrey still has this objective at the bottom right-hand corner.
Yep.
As you can see, he's using that unit of Blitzbarb archers, I'm pretty certain. No,
Seekers.
Seekers.
Yes.
In the bottom right-hand corner. He still does have Glutos on the middle, which will count as 5 on the objective, but unfortunately he is absolutely overloaded with things like these horrors and also I think the cockatrice is what we're seeing there, holding that objective, so he's in a tough spot. Overall, a real tough game. And then he's got the cockatrice at the top as well. This objective is definitely his. The objective for Toby, in Team Germany. The objective in the middle is definitely Toby's and Zinch's turn. And then it's just a big yikes. Table 2, that's our Nighthorn game, which has been actually pretty interesting right now. Oh, and that's the result. That's our first result in. Absolutely exciting. Massive win for Lex. 28-18. What a great year for Lex. Had his first kid. Got a big win at Worlds. Happy for him. What a great game. Well played by Patrick. I think Patrick engaged really well. He moved into the mid-board. He really thought about what he was doing. He tried to commit a little bit. Priorities went a different way for him. It went off. And then Lex was able to push in. And don't forget, Patrick was in the driving seat a lot at the start. He gave away the first turn, hoping that the mid-board movement Nighthorn went into the middle. He did. He didn't commit. Turn got given away. Then he was in a bad position. So that's pretty interesting. That is Hallow Lex. The Lex.
The one.
The Lex.
And look, the thing to remember, though, is that Deepkin, they usually win on a couple of big turns. They rely on an absolute hammer of a turn, usually turn 3 when the tide is high, but they're moving on. And without being able to bring enough to bear in that turn, they just weren't able to get the pushback. They needed a big turn 3. They didn't get it, and that's what's cost them the game.
Agreed. Okay, absolutely brilliant. Lovely game. So that's actually a game we can write down
that's
for Team Netherlands.
That's Team Netherlands.
They've got it. So that's on table 2. So table 3, we have our game between Zinch. We've just had the handshake on table 3 as well. They're coming in thick and fast now, all of these. What is the result on table 3,
table 3 final score. We have heard
Beasts of Chaos have won this. But that's a belief. We're waiting to see all the points get rocked up. 25-18.
Wow.
25-18.
So that's another one for Germany. So at the moment, it looks like we've got 1 table going to the Netherlands and 2 tables going to Germany.
Okay, Morgan really hustled there. Beast of Chaos, what a game. Pulling Kairos out with a Ritual of Ruin, charging in with a unit of Bulgor to wipe him out, getting pinned back by all sorts of units, using Raiders to kill stuff, pinning the board, using holding the different quarters of the board, using those ambushing units to grab them. What a fantastic game.
My guess is that it looks like the grand strategy did get denied, and that's had a big play in it as well.
Oh, okay, Okay, Morgan had 2 units of, I think he had 20 and 10 pink horrors that were engaged in combat for the entire game and still finished with 5 minutes left on the clock. But with only 16 minutes left on the clock, yikes, some players are not maybe going to finish. So that is table 3. Table 4 is our Sylvaneth list. I think we're going to be getting close to our handshake on this table as well. Just waiting to see what the results are. Sylvaneth have won the priority into turn 5. So I think they've played their turn. So we're going to wait to get the results. But I feel like Germany probably can't pull this back points-wise.
There's not much left for them to be picking up the points.
No, I don't think it's likely for them to pull the points back. I think they're going to be in a tough spot.
They're really going to have to try. I don't know where they're going to find it, though, because they're running out of units with the bodies to actually score. You can see we've got a couple there, but I think that's all they have.
Amazing. Absolutely thrilling stuff.
Whippy trees.
Whippy trees. Whippy trees. Now, it looks like we're getting results totaled up. I think I can see the results being totaled up between France and Denmark, which I'm very excited to go find out, because that is going to be a barnstormer of a result.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, there we go. I've seen a cuddle. Dan, I'm going to run over. You keep going through the games.
Okay. We'll jump through the tables.
Find out the score myself.
We're going to jump. We've looked at Table 5. We do know that Table 5 has gone to Germany, to the Slaves to Darkness on that one. That was a really rough get for the Beasts. Absolutely. The Minotaurs got Minotaur a new one and thrown all about. Please don't tell Rob I made that joke. That's so bad. We're going to move on to Table 6. KO versus KO. I can hear I've broken the table boss in the background there. KO versus KO. Very hard to know whose Thunderers are whose, but it does look like we have. Do we have an Admiral still? Let's go to the Scrivo cam there. Does that look like we do? We do have this bloke right here still. Okay, so in the last turn, we had the German Admiral get into combat with the Dutch Admiral, a boss fight, and from the table, which Admiral reigned superior? The German Admiral achieved this one's mind, bashing in the head of the Dutch Admiral. Very, very wonderful to see. A shooting match ended with a fit of hand-to-hand violence. Wonderful. So when we do look at the table, there are not many left. We've got a handful of Thunderers here, a handful of Thunderers here, and a small block down here. Now, we've lost all three of these objectives. We've lost 1, 2, 3, meaning only 2 left to score, and both looking comfortably under control. So I think there's only one way this match goes. And it's... Oh, and then looking at it, Max has one priority into 5. And he burnt the objective. So he won the priority into 5, gave it away because he was feeling quite confident on what he had, and he burnt the bottom left objective into this turn. Amazing. Amazing to see. Rob is back, and he is standing on the War Lounge, meaning that he's full of exuberance.
No, that's me currently not knowing what the result is. To quote the ref Charlie, you want to know the result of the French match? That's like knowing the face of God himself.
It'll drive you mad to see it, Rob. It'll drive you absolutely bonkers.
Do you think I could possibly know the result? So table 7,
we're going to a clock cam.
We're going to a clock. Oh no, John's come in.
He's getting in there. He's getting in there like swimwear, like a budgie smuggler up the crack, and finding out how much time there is left on these clocks.
Yeah, you heard, right? You heard. Okay, so Dayton just here.
No, Dayton, go away, please. You don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this. Just leave. I don't want to hurt you. You're too beautiful. Leave, Dayton.
Okay, it's too late. It's too late. We're going to have to tell Dayton. Dan had to choose live on stream. This is Noah, the winner of the LVO. Let's just get him in the shot here. And member of Team America. Noah, just need you to know Dan had to choose between Australia and Canada to support.
Do this. Rob,
yeah, he did have to choose, and he chose Australia.
I'm so sorry.
He said he wanted Canada to win.
He made me do it.
Yeah, so how do you both feel about that?
He's getting kicked out of the country.
No.
I think camels beat moose.
Camels don't beat moose.
We don't have camels.
You have so many camels. You have more camels than Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but we don't know about them. They're all in the middle. It's the emus that are the problem.
So many camels. I can't believe that this is being discussed. I can't believe there's a lot of nations here talking about camels.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dayton. Don't walk away from me. Don't look at me like that.
Okay.
What have you done, Rob?
Team North America, T for Thomas.
Done?
Thank you. I don't know. Just trying to build friends. So table 7, we have just finished Nighthorn turn 5. Did we have a clock cam? I don't know.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Turn 4. Here we go.
59 seconds left for the Nighthawk. 10 minutes left on the other.
He needs the guy from the Netherlands to play his turn because he will be fast.
He'll be through it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. They can be fast, okay? Oh, yeah, that's it. Just keep clocking. Yeah. Just keep clocking. It's not going to matter. I just love seeing people get clocked out. It's the best. Can I score my Grand Strat? No. Why not? You didn't get to turn 5.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, mate.
Oh, look there's a cheeky little smile on his face there as well. Look at him.
I think that's just been constantly his smile, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you to Dimensional Cascade for subscribing. Thanks, everyone, for subscribing and supporting the show. I hope you've all enjoyed this live coverage of Sigmar World Championships. Don't forget, there's 2 more rounds and therefore 1 more day of it tomorrow, which is a phenomenal amount of content. If you're interested, that is 48 games of Age of Sigmar over the course of 3 days.
My goodness.
I'm currently hearing that also Denmark are currently up in points against France, but if it's as tight as we're currently seeing in the chat, then that does mean that we are going to be into a close one. Hello, mate, how are you? As we're going to be into a real... Nighthorn finished their turn 5 with 0 seconds on the clock.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Do you know what, Colin? I doubted you.
But you got there.
But you got there.
You got there.
You absolutely got there. You didn't do anything.
So,
what was the USC result? Again, we won't get any results until we get the bits of paper.
Yeah.
We won't get, and when we get the bits of paper, which is going to come in the next 10 minutes or so,
we will
maybe a little bit over time, then I'll be able to give you the results. I don't know what the results are. Not sure how the USA did against Sweden. I don't know if we have any results yet.
I have 2 Sweden.
What?
105.
Wow.
Big news.
Big news. Okay.
Big news.
So anyone hoping to find out about the USA result?
Wow.
Now that does put Sweden Denmark tomorrow, and that's actually pretty spicy. Sweden beat USA 105-55. A full clapping. I've decided they're called clappings.
It's called a clapping.
I've decided at World Events, because I get to decide. I'm the coverage guy.
It's not a capping.
It's not a clapping. It's a clapping. Capping is when you get to the end of it, but a clapping. So Sweden with the big win. Now that's going to really change the shape of the game.
Yeah.
Because that means Netherlands going to Sweden, which is a battle royale. Yeah, that is a local derby.
Yeah.
Mark with more info here at the minute. Ball has just told me he's got 5 points over the course of the world's game so far. Absolutely tragic amount of points.
He's got about as many points as he has feet in height. Too Christmassy for short jokes.
Okay, so England against Czech Republic. England have got themselves 100 points back, 101 points with 2 results to go. So they might actually cap and clap the round.
Yeah.
Denmark versus France. Denmark needs 6 points to win, but losing remaining 2 games, so absolute nail biter.
Wow.
But either way, and this is super important, France and the Danes holding each other is pretty important because the Danes have got an easy day tomorrow. Well, not easy, but they've got Sweden. Who they've done quite well so far.
Yeah.
So Sweden's a tough match, but then there's no one else in the field who's a tough matchup for Denmark. So Denmark have got a round 5, 120 on the cards, right? So round 6, round 20 on the cards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's no real tough matches.
I mean, the thing is, though, but maybe the Swedes blasted out of nowhere, pull them down to a closer win than a full clapping, and that would then make it anyone's game into round 6.
This is quite interesting. So it being so close is really interesting. Okay.
Swing for the fences, though. If they get a big hit, they'll take it out in round 5.
Oh, yeah, Italy is still in there as well. I don't know what the current... Andrea Epis said that he did have a really great round.
Yeah, we heard.
So it might all be to play for. I reckon that the final scores... which we'll all be able to work out around 6.
Yeah.
The final scores for after round 6 are going to really throw off that podium, and it's going to be very tense.
Yeah. Wow.
Very tense.
The thing is, England dropping that game yesterday, not to harp on about it to rub it in, I think it's just really exciting, really interesting.
It actually opened up the field.
Absolutely. It blew the doors right off it, and now it's anyone's game.
Disco, right, you absolute cutie. Who can still take out the event? So right now, Denmark can definitely take out the event.
Yes.
France can definitely take out the event. Then behind them, so those two front runners.
Yes.
Behind them, Sweden and USA
Are an outside chance.
and then everyone else is in the mix.
Yeah.
Like not everyone else, but a lot of other teams. Italy are in the mix. Italy are in the mix. England are in the mix. Poland are in the mix. But we got two front runners.
Yeah.
So they need to do. But Sweden really pulled it back today.
Yeah.
So absolutely massive.
Yeah.
There are a lot of players. There are a lot of teams. A lot of teams are in contention because the USA took a big loss.
Yes.
That brought them down from a quite far position and put Sweden back in the mix.
Yeah.
And then what happened? The two front runners, Denmark and France. Dan, you rooted for Australia to beat Canada.
Yeah, I did. I know what I did. Why do you have to keep rubbing it in? What are you about to do? Who are you about to tell?
I'm about to tell you that Canada beat Australia. So not only did you root for the wrong team, you rooted for the losing team.
I backed the wrong horse.
You backed a kangaroo.
We're
We're in the northern hemisphere.
I forgot that the Canadian goose is more fierce than the kangaroos, and it has backfired. You might say it's boomeranged on me, Rob. That decision. I should have been going with the poutine power than the Vegemite flour.
So not only did you betray the Canadians, they lost.
I've got nowhere to go now. I don't want to go home to a bunch of losers. What do I do?
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
I'm super happy about that. That's really made it fun for me. Why did he say he hopes for a draw?
Because
does he hate Canada that much? That's a great question, Disco Rat. He must hate Canada that much.
No, it's not that. It's because I think people who root for a draw are cowards who should pick a lane.
Okay, all right. So I need to get some more results from these games. So I just want to triple check and do the respect this game deserves. So table one. We'll go to table one because this is about to finish. We've got 4 minutes left, 4.5 minutes left on the clock for the round. So the round's nearly over. So this is looking very close. We'll wait to see what happens in this match between Jeffrey and Toby, but it is right on the line.
Yeah.
And they need to roll out a couple of results here. 2.5 minutes for Toby, though. He does not have a lot of time.
Not a lot of time to score the points he needs to take it out.
Yeah. So this is the bottom of turn 3, and this is Jeffrey's turn. Jeffrey's turn right now. Okay, and they've still got lots of turns to roll through. They've got lots of turns to roll through. So hopefully we'll find out what the result is. Okay, we have got a result on table 6.
Table 6, KO versus KO.
Oh, if this is a draw, I feel like we've wasted our whole life.
Yeah, I'm going to throw myself into the ocean.
Ooh, amazing. Okay, so let me know what it is. It's a minor win for Mitchell because he's got a grand strat. Mitchell with a minor win. Congratulations. That's really exciting. I've got some results for everyone else. I've got the results of USA versus Sweden. That's what I've got.
Okay.
So I've got the results from that. I've got USA's Fire Slayers. Fire Slayers getting 18 points against Sweden's 2 points to their Slaves to Darkness.
USA, you still love me? Yeah, I love you.
Okay.
I love you. I'll abandon Australia. I never cared about them. I never cared about Australia. Never even loved them at all. Never loved them. Oh, my heart, my eyes are only for you, Canada. I didn't mean what I said.
Right, so then, USA beat Fire Slayers, beat Sweden Slaves to Darkness by 18-2.
USA won, Sweden none.
USA's Gits got 12 points against Sweden's Fire Slayers getting 8.
Okay, so two to the USA.
2 to the USA. And then USA's Beast of Chaos got 17 points against Sweden's DOK.
Wow, okay, so 3 for 3.
And then USA's KO got 1 point against Sweden's Skaven.
Okay, that's Skaven doing that to KO.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And then USA's Zinch got 1 point against Sweden's Slanesh.
Well, yep, okay.
Seeing that a lot. That's that Slanesh army hitting that pink horror screen.
And just depravity.
Getting the points.
Yeah.
USA Seraphon with 2 points against Sweden's Korn getting 18.
Okay, so 3 for 3.
And then finally, USA's USA's Fire Slayers. USA's Ogres. Have I done Seraphon? Yeah. USA's Ogres getting 1 point, and Sweden's Ronja with her Gits getting 19 points, making 105 points for Sweden and 55 to the USA.
Wow.
An absolute clapping.
What a clapping.
What a clapping.
What a clapping.
So then we've got Belgium versus Northern Ireland, and this is actually a pretty big deal.
Yep.
We've got Belgium getting 119 points against Northern Ireland's 41, which is pretty big.
Nearly full cap.
And then, the current score between France and Denmark is, with not done yet, 70 points to France, 70 points to Denmark.
One game in it.
The captain, for which team? Oh my God, there's I wish John had his. Someone take a photo. Get me a photo. Let's do some photos. Where's John with the camera? That's what I want. Like, there's such an amazing shot right now. I know, right? Come on. Someone get John. I want that camera, please. There's such an amazing shot right now, which is just. I need that shot over there.
It just looks like all the players from both teams are jumping on top of each other to watch.
Yeah. That's
massive.
It's such. Thank you so much. That looks great. There's a great shot right now. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to be a boomer. All right, here we go. Look at this. This is a match right now. Everyone watching this match as it happens.
Everyone's watching.
Right? That's what we're doing. Look at that. Right, I'm on it. Like the final 70-70.
Wow.
This is absolutely. And it's Jorin. Who would have thought Jorin would be the last one playing on this table? Shocked. Absolutely shocked.
Staggered. Color me surprised.
And he's up against Rune. So Rune, and this is huge. This is the winner, the twice winner of the World Singles, playing against the captain of Denmark. Both teams, Denmark and France, on 70 points each. This is the final match. This is the final match. Jorin, the current champion, versus Rune, the current captain. This is huge.
Massive. We'll get the news from that as it comes in.
We're going to try and get our video camera over there right now. As soon as John's ready. John is ready. John is ready. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's get that roaming shot. Let's have that. John running. Look at this. Passing in there. Serbia. This is it. This is man in the field. This is man in the field. Let's get it. Let's get this shot.
Punch them, Scrivo. Just force your way in there.
Get in the mix, John.
Use violence.
Don't use violence, please.
I encourage it.
Okay.
Climb over chairs. Over chairs.
You're not getting anywhere near the game.
Get vertical.
That's not where the game is. Where do you think the game is? It's behind you. They can't even find the game. This is.
Wait, I think it's. We just had it. Come in here. Come in.
Yeah. Tom, sit down. John couldn't even make it to the game. Oh, there it is. Jorin's right in the score. There's Rune. Put the headset on, Tom. Tell us what happened.
So, I don't have an exact end score, but Rune had to play the final game, the Danish captain.
Yeah.
And, he managed to pull it out, if I recall correctly, if I saw correctly. So, I know for sure the Danish have won. I was told it was 70-70 before this game had ended.
Oh.
So, Danish victory. But the England capped their opponent.
They did.
It's still close.
It's super close. Sweden got a massive score against USA, so that's still really close. Yeah. So it's all to play for on the top table, right?
How are the Dutch doing?
The Netherlands. They're doing quite good. We've lost track towards the end a little bit. We have some scores, so I can tell you right now. Don't forget Tom, who is okay. So table 7, yes. Get me the result for table 7. You've got 2 German wins, 2 wins for the Netherlands. So table 7 is going to the Netherlands. Okay. Table 7 is going to the Netherlands. Table 8. Gits versus Lumineth. This has got to go to the Gits. This is going to the Gits.
Yeah, the Dutch won that one. Yes.
Come on. Let's go.
13-7.
Oh, I'm not sure we can go to table 8, so you can see how it's going. But that is done. Oh, that's going to Netherlands. It's Netherlands game.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I can just tell that for you.
Predicted.
Yeah, so that's Netherlands. I don't know why I've written it so badly. And table 4, we have Silvernet versus Gits. So Silvernet versus Gits. So table 4, you can see there. Let's just get rid of that. That is going to be. Oh, that's another Netherlands.
Netherlands 68.
That's another Netherlands. And then finally on table 2, this is going to be big. This is, I think, both captains. So 72. Thank you, Milladin. Okay, still close. Okay, Milladin letting us know it's still close. Thank you so much. Final score for the Netherlands, no? 86 to Netherlands, and how much? 74 to Germany. There you go. Okay, so very close. And then we just heard the score
88-72 for Denmark.
88 for Denmark, 72 for France. That makes
amazing.
That makes a front-runner team. That makes a front-runner team right now.
I called it.
Yeah, you did. Denmark. That means Denmark playing Sweden in the morning for probably the title.
No, I think they did.
Yeah, good. Oh, and we have the result on table 1 from our match that we did today. Who is it? This is going to be huge. This is going to be really big. Oh, the overlay has a score on table 1. And that is, look at this. Denmark want to hand me the score sheet. They're like, here's the score sheet. Rob, read it out loud. Yeah, read this thing out loud. So Denmark and France, 88-72. That makes Denmark undefeated so far at the event. And they've apart from Sweden, there's not another shark in the tank. There's no one left to take them out. They've got a round into Sweden tomorrow. And if they just total it, it's all theirs. There's no one else to fight them. France have still got some tough matches. France have still got USA. France have still got England potentially. There's Italy's in the mix.
Wales
Poland
maybe.
Are in the mix.
Wales did well this round.
Okay, so there's lots of teams that can potentially still play against France. Denmark have only got the hurdle of Sweden now, and then their round 6 is just probably shaking hands with some absolute chuckleheads. Yeah, right. The dream is just get Austria and just get a 120 and go home. Beers by 6. That's what I say.
Just give Austria the 120.
Yeah.
And then
So, yeah, looking really good for Denmark going into tomorrow. But how do we feel? Last year, Sweden beat Denmark. Is Sweden the only kryptonite that Denmark can face?
Perhaps.
Not sure. Okay. Yes, we got the results for Netherlands, Germany as well. I've got all the results, actually. I probably should give these to the TO.
So I think we got a stream for the morning then as well.
We do have a stream, so that'll be Denmark versus Sweden in the morning, if anyone's excited.
I am.
You are? Great, okay. We have told the stream. I've done the stream. I've done the score. Thank you. That's over. This is Tom. He's run the event along with a fantastic Martijn, Danny, and all the rest of the guys at the Alliance Open. Here you can see that there. Fantastic. Dan, you've been wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you to John, our cameraman, Mark, our infield reporter, Cabbage, our infield reporter, Mike, and then also the wonderful Ziggy with all the stats.
And thank you to Rob for doing amazing coverage.
Wonderful day. Still a thrilling day 3 to find out who the champions are going to be. But the answer is we might have the first ever not English world champions. But that's not true. It might still happen for them.
The Danish won it before, right? 2 years ago.
Does that count? It was 6 teams. Okay, the first world champions with 8-person teams. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay. All right, I hope you guys have all enjoyed the stream. Thanks for tuning in. We'll put the results up online. Thanks for supporting the show. Loads of love. See you all tomorrow. Goodbye.